It's the Orioles on Macedon. We welcome you back to Birdland. Big House will be on hand tonight for Game 2 of what is really a 4-game set. But the last one here, they move to Washington for tomorrow night. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome. Great ball game last night. Intensity of the playoffs. Orioles came away with a 4-3 win in that game. It had everything you'd want right down to the final out, and the Orioles did the things that you need to do if you're going to win those kind of games. Take a look. You've got to be opportunistic. The Orioles were. People come to see the long ball. Well, this one didn't go over the wall, but it did get bobbled. And when Harper couldn't pick it up, Manny Machado came around to score. They were not going to send him. Davis got a double, and he got the RBI. Look at this play. Outstanding play by Donnie Hart. That's a big play in the 8th inning. Murphy out. Could have been the tying run. And then let's wrap it up with Major League's leader, the 38th. Leaving the ballpark, Trumbo, the first Oriole who's had 7 home runs on 7 consecutive hits. Pretty much for the Orioles, with Burton coming in to finish it off, Mike. A perfect ball game for them in a 1-run win.
It sure was, but you hit the nail on the head when you said opportunistic, and the Orioles going to have to play that kind of baseball from here on down to the stretch and even into the postseason. They're going to have to find these chances where they can take advantage of either miscues by the opposition or maybe just a blank stare on the other side of the diamond where you can execute a hit and run or a stolen base, which the Orioles don't ever do, but find a way to get the runs across the plate. Aggressive baseball last night. Heads up by Bobby Dickerson at third base. And that play by Donnie Hart, boy, that was a big one. That went a long way with Buck Showalter. Having that kind of poise, composure on the mound to make that play against, obviously the Nationals and a big-time rivalry here. Some pretty impressive stuff.
And don't forget Dylan Bundy. Bundy came on to do what the Orioles need most, and that's depth, starting pitching, quality work. He did. Now they need that tonight from Kevin Gausman.
They sure do. Gallardo did it. Then Bundy did it. How about passing the baton on to Kevin Gausman? He's pitched so well here at Camden Yards. His last 4 starts here at Camden Yards have all been wins, and he's gotten deep into ball games. He's going to keep that rolling. He could be the key. He and Bundy are going to have to step up and pitch some of their best baseball down the stretch.
Orioles continue to use the long ball. They are on a pace where they could set the all-time Major League record in home runs. Trumbo right now is just on fire, as everything literally that he's getting for hits going out of the yard.
I'm telling you, if there is a mistake on the plate, he is covering it right now, and it's good to see Trumbo and Davis both heating up in the middle lineup. Seems like when they get going, it relaxes everybody.
Yet another beautiful night here at Camden Yards, as was true for last night. We're ready to go. Nationals Orioles, game 2 of this very important set for the O's. Orioles baseball on MASN is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Bank of America. Life's better when we're connected. It is an absolutely gorgeous night, as was true for the day here in the area. Our BGE home game time temperature, very comfortable 79 degrees. Humidity down, little breeze blowing out towards center. BGE Home, Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Nationals. Turner, Worth, and Murphy. Harper, Rendon, Ramos, Zimmerman. Clint Robinson did not play last night. He'll be the DH tonight. And Danny Espinosa. For Ramos, what a season, both behind and at the plate.
And let's take a look at Kevin Gausman's pitch arsenal up against this Nationals lineup. Fastball 66% of the time. Power fastball as well, leading the Orioles in strikeouts this year, primarily because of that heater. They can rush up to 97, 98 miles an hour. You see the 129 strikeouts in 127 innings, averaging right around 9, just over 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. Opponent's hitting 266 overall off Gausman. Righties 290, lefties just 237 because of that Vulcan split finger, but he has been susceptible to long ball. 23 home runs given up by Kevin Gausman this year. Good news, he's pitching at home where he's 4-1 with a 2.73.
Orioles have won the last 5 starts that he's made at home. He has won himself 4 of those. For the Orioles, they come in 2 games behind Red Sox and Toronto. Those 2 teams identical 70 and 54 records, and the Orioles at 68 and 56, 2 games out. The speedster, center fielder Trey Turner, had an 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. Gausman's delivery to him, and that will be taken for a strike, and we are underway. Outfield moving in a little bit on Turner. Not that he doesn't have some power, but more of a line drive hitter towards the gaps. And that pitch is going to miss down low for a ball. The Nationals, an 8-game lead in the division. Nobody ever says it, but it's kind of like waiting for the playoffs. You know you still got to win some games, but you're sure feeling pretty good about an 8-game lead at this point.
Well, you got that right, even though had some bad news yesterday, putting Strasburg on the disabled list. Sensational season for him going, but manager Dusty Baker keeping his troops going in the right direction. It's been a sound clubhouse this year. He's been able to avoid that injury bug that had bitten them so hard last year.
Real speed here, Manny Machado, and not going to get him. And that's the speed of Turner. Trey Turner beat that by a lot, and that's hard to do when Manny Machado's in with that arm.
Hard to do on the right side of the box, and Machado a great jump there. One of the best in the business at the slow roller, coming down with bare hand. How about this? Comparing him to Mickey Mantle flying down the first base line. They timed him at 3-4 over the weekend. Some serious speed.
And Mickey had those 2 good knees. He was just like that.
Yeah.
The leadoff single, the infield hit for Turner. Jason Worth in the number 2 spot as he was last night. He had an 0 for 3, did pick up a walk in the ball game. Orioles had double play depth in the infield, and the pitch will be taken for a ball. Worth has faced Gausman before. He's 1 for 2. Kevin has a 1-1 record against the Nationals. He's had 2 starts. Both were in Washington, and the last one was August of 2014. So a 1-1 record lifetime against the Nationals. Worth will have to wait. Turner, of course, took off last night. Didn't take very long. He went on the first pitch in the first inning after he reached on a walk and picked up a stolen base. So you got to keep an eye on him over there. That's a genuine base stealing speed. He's 14 out of 15. He's walked off a decent lead. 1-0 delivery on the way. Had some bend on it. It is in there for a strike to Worth, and the count goes to 1-1.
And this Nationals team, boy, they've made a living this year, making the first mark in ball games. Good reason why. The speed at the top of the lineup. How about that? 14 and 15 this season at 93%.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Runner goes. Pitch out. Wieters, the throw. High. And couldn't get it down in time to get him. So add another. Just as he did in the ball game last night. gets the stolen base, and that throws out 37%.
Yeah, Wieters much better transfer this time, but the ball kind of leaking up the line. Jonathan Schoop doing all he can, taking the throw in front of the base runner. Ooh,
close.
Ended up being pretty darn close.
Buck Showalter's waiting. The video people are taking a look at that. The throw was actually there in time, and had it been down, I don't think there would have been any question that he would have been out. Now the question is, did he get him on the backside right?
Oh yeah,
there.
What a play by Jonathan Schoop. Now you teach a middle infielder on a throw that's sailing up the line, you don't take it from behind, you take it in front of the base, and Jonathan Schoop, recognizing the play early, gets it in front, able to cut down that distance and put it on the backside. It looks like he got it.
Yeah. So we'll have a challenge. Buck indicating to the crew chief, Ted Barrett, down at first base, that they want to go at it. So the crew chief and the umpire who made the call, in this case Lance Barksdale, the second base umpire, will take a look in New York, and we'll see. But I think that call is going to be reversed. About 50% of managers' challenges have resulted in a reversal of the call originally made this year. That number has been consistent all year long. About 45% of those where you have a crew chief review have been turned. But that right there sure looks like you put the glove on him with the ball in it.
Yeah, and there's no denying it. The pants kind of flinch a little bit. You can see the wrinkle in the pants. So there is definite contact before the hand hits the base.
If he'd had a wallet, he'd have picked it. And he is out. A big play early in the ball game again for the Orioles. It'll go as a caught stealing on the 2-4. Matt Wieters continues at that 37% mark, and stolen bases now 1 out of 2 against Kevin Gausman. And Jonathan Schoop, big smile on his face, talking to Hardy. And for Turner, out of there, and not really much to argue about once you looked at the video.
Yeah, well, that's how you pick each other up. Boy, nice play, Wieters and Schoop.
And the pitch will be taken down low by Worth. I mean, it's such a major change. That's why the video replays are so important, that have made such a difference in the game. And you got a runner at second, nobody out, or you got one down, nobody on. And a walk surrendered here as Worth, who draws a lot of them, picks up the first.
Now let's take a look at the defense behind Gausman tonight. Steve Pearce getting the start in left field. Jones and Trumbo will join him. Hardy and Schoop once again, the double play combination up the middle, with Machado and Davis on the corners, and Matt Wieters. And that great throw to start this ball game behind the plate again.
Orioles moving up into the top 3 in D, tied for second coming into today's play in overall defensive efficiency. So Worth on. Here's Murphy. Daniel Murphy has moved into the top spot in batting average in the National League. He questions Will Little. There you see the top 3. 347 for Murphy. I was telling Mike before the ball game, Will Little, the home plate umpire, the guy's better get used to it. He favors pitchers. The tendency throughout his career is to give the benefit of the doubt on those calls to pitchers. So if you're a hitter, you better come up ready to go, because if you don't, you're going to get those calls are going to go in the pitcher's favor, and then if he stays true to form, that'll happen in this game. Pitch away that time, 1-1.
I thought that first strike looked pretty good. Maybe Mr. Murphy and Mr. Little have had, past conversations about balls and strikes.
Never know, do you?
That's right.
1 ball, 1 strikeout. Kevin Gausman's delivery, and that will be taken inside, and the count goes to 2-1. Kevin trying to work his way through a first inning. It's been a problem for him all year long. First inning runs against him have come in abundance, and it has been a very tough inning, both in the runs and in the number of pitches thrown. Murphy with the 2 for 3 last night at RBI. That one is scooped up by Wieters. Down low, holds the runner. 3-1.
Boy, Murphy so tough to get fishing on some off-speed pitches. A couple change-ups down, and doesn't even flinch. He's so quiet in the box. Wieters making a nice pick. Jason Worth, well aware of the Gold Glove catcher's skills, already on his way back.
Well, let's see. The 3-ball 1-strike count. Whether he gets fat in the strike zone with one here. And that one will be popped up left field. Steve Pearce making the start out there. Steve settles under it, puts it away. Murphy is retired, and that will send Jason Worth back to the bag, and there are 2 down. The 2-away, that'll bring Harper up. Bryce Harper, he had an 0 for 3 in the ballgame last night. His woes against the Orioles continue as Harper's carrying a 175 lifetime batting average against the Orioles with 1 home run and 182 here in this ballpark where he hit that home run. Bryce has overall been much hotter than that since returning to the lineup from that stiff neck last weekend. Gone 11 for his last 30, covering 8 games, a couple of home runs, 10 RBIs. The Oriole pitchers have held him down so far as he was going for the long ball.
Yeah, they've really done a nice job containing Harper in these interleague games. It might all be timing, but you do not want to wake him up, that's for sure.
Harper has also faced Gausman. Harper's got an 0 for 2 against him. Worth on at first base, 2 down. Outfield backing up on the power hitter. 0-1 delivery by Gausman. That'll be ripped the other way foul. Harper does not get cheated, as is true of so many of the power hitting hitters we see in today's game. They take some cuts, boy, that are full-fledged long ball cuts.
Yeah, and you know, not too long ago, you get 2 strikes to do that. 3rd strike coming up, you got to bear down. You shorten up typically. It doesn't happen anymore. You get 3 chances to put a mark on the board.
Yeah. Timeout asked for by Matt Wieters behind the plate that time. Gausman, first inning runs, 13 of them in the 22 starts that he's had this year. The Orioles are 9-13 in his starts on the year. 0-2 delivery on the way, and Harper will take it. A little break on it, that'll miss, and a 1-ball 2-strike count.
Trying to get him bite on the changeup. It's like Dylan Bundy last night. More changeups than the breaking ball. Of course, Gausman's change pretty effective, and it has been throughout his career against lefties.
Pitch trying to get him to bite on one away, and he won't do it. And the count will go to 2-2. As we mentioned in the ball game last night, this is a very tough ball club to pitch to because they simply do not go after pitches that are out of the strike zone. You've almost always got to throw strikes. As the Nationals in strikeouts, the 3rd fewest in the National League. Harper got one to hit, and he gets it by Scope. Worth will make the turn to second base. Trumbo will get it back in. Harper's on with a base hit. Now important was that overturn on the video, important enough that it's taken a run off the board.
Yeah, definitely an impacted play by Wieters and Scope. How about the high heater and Harper getting on top? It looked like he was trying to hit a home run there. It looked like he was trying to have a level swing and keep this inning going. Slapping it right back through the middle of the infield.
So Rendon will get the opportunity for an RBI. He got one last night on a long ball. He is 1 for 3. He got his 16th home run in the 4th inning. 1 for 3 with a homer last night. 58 batted in on the year. This is where the Nationals came up short, as last night with runners in scoring position they were just 1 for 9 in the ball game. They are ranked 15th overall in the majors, right in the middle of the 30 teams in that department. 1st and 3rd, 2 down. Gausman's pitch, that'll be on the outside corner for a strike. Rendon this season hitting .278 with runners in scoring position. Orioles, of course, with 2 down, can back up and just look for that 3rd out, try and get that out at the plate and get out of the inning. Bob Henley, 3rd base coach. Davey Lopes at first, talking to the runners. Inside out foul ball to Souvenir.
Davey Lopes is having some fun with some team speed this year. Terry Turner and teaching some of these young guys about stealing bases.
There's a man who could steal them when they really counted, when you played a lot more small ball games and stolen bases really mattered. He keeps the watch over there on the time of Gausman to the plate. 0-2. Runners off first and third. Rendon will foul another one, almost the exact same spot, a little bit higher.
Good fastball there by Kevin Gausman. 97 miles an hour. 22 pitches he's had to work through this first inning.
Interesting, the numbers with runners on. Hitters are just 218 off Gausman when the bases are empty. 302. He's given up 16 homers when the sacks are empty, 7 with people on. Trying to catch him flat-footed in a pretty good move. He had Harper getting his lead, and he almost caught him in the cross step there, as Harper had to get back in on his belly.
A little bit of a cat and mouse. Kevin Gausman hasn't picked over there on Harper yet. Surprise attack.
Rendon 0-2. It's a big at bat. Nationals got a run in the first inning, take the lead. Took the lead last night. 144 first inning runs scored. 0-2 pitch on the way to him, and that will be up high. You see Gausman doing what you do. You try and get these hitters to go after pitches that are yours, that aren't strikes, and this Washington team just doesn't bite on those.
Yeah, they have shown some good patience. That's a good fastball right at the top of the strike zone. Could have gone either way.
And usually pretty attractive to a hitter. Right?
Oh, it looks so good coming in there. Rendon showing a good 2-strike patience though.
1-2 the count. Worth and Harper the base runners. Gausman's delivery. Ooh-ah.
Oh,
that looked pretty good too.
Yeah, that can't be that high. A little tight on the top of the zone. Back-to-back fastballs looking pretty good right across the letters there. There we go. How about the intensity from the fans? The one shaking his head. No, that was a ball. The other one said, "Are you kidding me? That's got to be a strike."
Check the hats.
Yeah.
So the count goes to 2-2. Another throw, and Harper again back to the bag, and Chris Davis quick to look over on Worth. Harper, I mean, he's a base stealer. This isn't an ideal situation to be running in. 2-2, unless you just want to try and create havoc out there and hope for a ball and thrown ball into center field or something.
Yeah, you might expect it a different part of the lineup. Rendon's been swinging the bat pretty well.
Yeah. 2-2 delivery on the way. Rendon hits it deep down the line left field, and that one is going to go foul. And another one of those, like Scope's home run last night, that was way above the foul pole.
Yeah.
That one though was clearly foul. Jonathan put one right over the fair foul pole last night. We were talking about it around the cage tonight. A couple of the guys saying you really got to hit a baseball to do that, to not have that ball tail to the left and be foul. If you hit a ball, J.J. Hardy said he was watching it in the on deck circle. He said the ball actually started foul and came back. Yeah. Fair.
How impressive is that?
Yeah.
Inside the baseball and inside pit.
2 ball, 2 strike count with 2 down. Up high, and the count will go to 3-2. It is such a typical first inning for Kevin Gausman. They all look like this.
Yeah.
Runners on, a lot of pitches, trying to find your stuff, trying to loosen up. And it's okay if he gets out of this right now with nobody scoring. Now, timeout asked for. Davis will stay on the bag at first, even though it's a 3-2 count with 2 away. They do not want to give Harper any bigger jump than what he gets with a normal lead. 3-2 delivery on the way, and that ball put up in the air to right field. Trumbo, he's got it, and Kevin Gausman indeed does work out of it. No runs on a couple of hits, 2 left, and a big caught stealing reversal on the video. That's what Kevin Gausman did, and he got out of it, leaving a couple on. Take a look at the lineup. Orioles brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Jones, Pierce, Machado, Davis, Trumbo, Scope, Alvarez, Wieters, and Hardy. And Mike Trumbo this year against the right-handers, 28 of those long balls.
Yeah, let's take a look at the 22-year-old Reynaldo Lopez's pitch arsenal this season. And fastball 59% of the time. And it's some easy cheese. Mid to high 90s with the fastball. Breaking ball 31%. Big curve 75 to 81 with the big hook. 4.37 earned run average. First 2 outings not so good. Last 2 quality starts. 7 innings in both. Only allowing 1 run in each. Opponent's hitting 261. Righties way up to 368. Controlling the lefties down to 180 right now. Only giving up a couple long balls, but is not afraid to challenge with the heater.
Made his debut on the 19th of July against the Dodgers in a loss. Lost his second start to the Giants, and then has beaten Atlanta twice. Pitch will be taken outside for a ball. Adam Jones had an 0 for last night. 0 for 4. For Lopez, his first appearance against the Orioles. That one down the line, curving, and that will end up in the corner and foul. Lopez, a strikeout pitcher in the minor leagues. He had 60 games, 55 as a starter. This year in the minors, he started at A ball, moved up, started at Double A, then promoted to Triple A in June. Now here he is at the majors. Last year he was at Single A ball in Potomac. So you're looking at another 22-year-old hurry on to the majors pitcher we've talked about so often.
Yeah, well,
throttle back on that one.
I think what they like about him, the young pitcher, his mechanics seem pretty sound right now. A lot of times you get a young pitcher and mechanics, arms and legs flying all over the place, and just trouble harnessing everything, but very much in control of his delivery. Comes over the top.
But Showalter said they'd watched the videos on him in his major league starts and said he's got some stuff. That one on the outside part of the plate, maybe close enough so that Adam Jones had to fight that one off. So Adam is starting him out with at least a 7-pitch at bat. 3 ball, 2 strike count. Dusty Baker watching his youngster out there on the mound, and Jones doing what you love to see if you're the team at the plate happen early on in the game.
Yeah, see a lot of pitches. Great first at bat for Adam Jones. I'm seeing a good changeup right there. The fastball with the Nissan pitch track showing he can work the bottom of the zone. Outer edge on Adam Jones.
So he's seen about everything. 3-2 delivery on the way. Comes in with heat. Bouncer up the middle, and he's got a base hit. Hit it solid. And Adam Jones picks up a leadoff single.
Take a look at the Nats defense. Worth, Turner, and Harper in the outfield. Espinosa and Murphy up the middle. Rendon and Zimmerman will be on the corners. And Ramos once again behind the plate.
So Steve Pearce. Steve getting the start in left field. Buck Showalter saying before the game he just needs some playing time. I got to get him in there. Like the matchup against Lopez. Pearce, a real good fastball hitter. Maybe a little better than Kim, but enough so that he wanted him in there, and he's moved him into that number 2 spot. Did not play in the ball game last night. Jones on at first base, and the pitch will be taken up and in with a heater.
Yeah, but a couple different reasons. Obviously needs to keep Steve Pearce fresh going down the stretch. He's been banged up a little bit, so finally feeling healthy. And he can be a big part of this team through the month of August here and through the month of September. So Buck Showalter want to keep all his bullets ready to go.
1-0 count, long hold. Pearce will take it outside. Pearce carries real good numbers against the Nationals. Steve, a .286 lifetime batting average against Washington and 5 home runs against them. So he's done well against National League pitching. Chris Davis in the hole. 2-0 count. Jones off first, slider, and that's going to miss. No, Steve works the count to 3-0. Lopez walked 10, struck out 26 in the 4 starts at the major league level. He's given up a hit an inning. in those 4 games. 3-0 count. Here's taking all the way, and all 4 of them missed. Well, the Orioles are going to get an early chance here against the youngster. Rocket arms. Here are 2 of them.
Yeah, how about this? Rocket arms. Highest average fastball velocity for each team. Ronaldo Lopez, 96.4 average miles per hour. Use that fastball 59% of the time. The opponent's hitting it at 347 clip. Kevin Gausman, average fastball velocity 94.7. And he loves the heater, 67.5 times. Opponent's hitting it 268 clip.
Brought to you by Quicken Loans. Rocket arm. 2 on and nobody out. And here's Manny Machado. Manny on a breaking ball went around, and a strike called on him. Manny's got a 5-game hit streak coming in, as he had a 1 for 4 in the ball game last night, up to 302. 74 RBIs. Orioles 2 for 2 with runners in scoring position last night. 0-1 delivery. So they had 2 chances. Washington had 9. The Orioles won it 4-3 and went 2 for 2.
That young pitcher, 79 with runners in scoring position. Many times young pitchers lose their focus when runners get on base. Seems to bear down.
1-1 delivery on the way. That's on the outside corner. He's got the same split that Kevin Gausman does. With runners on, the number's 208 against him. When the bases are empty, it's 325. Both he and Gausman have those big splits that are kind of reverse of what you would think for starting pitchers, who generally have more trouble working out of the stretch. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Manny. Big chance here in the first inning. Manny will take it down low. Ramos with a stop on it. 2-2.
Nice block right there. They just got away with a second strike call. Machado fastball away. They're trying to throw Manny everything in the book right now. Started him off with a breaking ball, fastball inside, and fastball away, and then a change. And you're seeing the full repertoire right now.
2-2 delivery, and a swing and a miss as he kept it down low. So he gets a strikeout for the first out of the ball game for him.
And 97 down by the knees. That is some cheese right there. Manny just a little bit in between. You blink and it's by.
His minor league totals for his career: 299 strikeouts in 300 innings. That's
pretty good.
Pretty sums it up, doesn't it? Here is Chris Davis. Shift put on. Davis a 1 for 3, picked up a double and an RBI in the ball game last night. And Chris will take the pitch for a ball.
You know, Chris Davis' bat's starting to come around a little bit. RBIs in 5 of the last 6 games. Started that 4th inning rally with the double to Bryce Harper. And Machado's hit the score on that play. Nice to see Davis heating up.
1-0 count. Runners off first and second. Chris on a breaking ball and a good one. And a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Chris has gone 6 for 20 over the last half dozen games. 5 of the 6 hits have been solo home runs. I'd like to put one out right now that would not be solo. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Davis, the big uppercut, goes to first, knocked down Zimmerman, gets 1, nobody at first. So it will go as a fielder's choice. Tough out. And there are 2 down.
Oh, a really nice play right there by Ryan Zimmerman at first base. A ground ball, but it had some serious top spin. So Zimmerman had to show that third base range, filling up the hole, and then an off-balance throw in the middle of the infield.
And you had the shift on, so you had the guy coming to cover the bag from the wrong angle.
Yeah, that's right.
Coming back towards the bag from second, which makes it even more difficult. That's one of those, when you're in the shift, it's tough. Espinosa, the shortstop, taking it like a second baseman would.
Yeah, a lot of traffic on the right side with the big shift.
Yeah. So here's Mark Trumbo. He's made a lot of news, talked about today. The home runs that he's putting up, leading the majors, of course. But more importantly, 7 straight hits, all homers.
Yeah, well, that's what home run hitters are supposed to do, right? Every time they hit the ball, it goes out of the park. Are you kidding me? 7 straight? And as home runs, 11th player in Major League history to do that. That's a pretty impressive run right there for Trumbo.
First player to have home runs on the last 7 hits. Mark McGwire holds the record. The Major League record is 11. McGwire set it in 2001. 11 hits, 11 homers. There was an era going on then, however, which we always note and put an asterisk next to it. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Runners off first and third. There are 2 down. Lopez delivery to him. That'll be there at the knees on the outside corner. 1-2.
Boy, that's a tough pitch to get to. You got to be looking out there to get it. 97. Perfect location, down and away. Lopez having to work here in the first inning as well. 23 pitches right now.
Only gave up 19 home runs in 300 innings in the minor leagues. And he is a fly ball pitcher. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Pitch on the way, and that's going to be a base hit. That'll go towards the wall. Jones will score. Davis will go to third. Throw to second, and he's out. Mark Trumbo, trying to extend the single into a double, is thrown out. The run will count, as Adam Jones had crossed the plate well in advance. There's the throw, and there's the tag. And not much doubt about it when you look at it on the replay. So the Orioles will pick up the RBI by Trumbo. That'll end the 7 consecutive hits that were homers, but he'll take it. A surprise play, really, at second base. Orioles 1-0. The numbers.
Yeah, home is where the wins are for Kevin Gausman for sure, and it has been that way throughout his young career. It's much better at home last season, carried right over to this year. 4-1 record here at home, 0-9 on the road. And how about the earned run average differences? 2.73 here at Camden Yards, 5.32 on the road. What is it, just comfort? Not sure, but Kevin Gausman loves pitching in front of his home fans.
Lifetime now here at home, 13-8 with the 3.09 ERA if you put all the starts and relief performances together here at Camden Yards. So the Orioles take the 1-0 lead. Trumbo credited with the RBI and a base hit. Throw not trying to extend it. Wilson Ramos will lead it off. Zimmerman, then Robinson due up for the Nationals. Ramos had a 2 for 3, continuing his hot year. 2 for 3 in the ball game last night. And Ramos 0 for 3 rather. Sorry. He's 2 for 3 against Kevin Gausman with a home run. 1 strike count on the catcher. He and teammate Murphy battling for the top spot in batting average in the National League coming into this ball game. Daniel, of course, moving into the spot at 347. Ramos at 319 is 7th. in the league in average. 0-2 delivery. A little late on that cut and fouls it off.
Kevin hitting his spots right now. Leaders wanting it up in the zone and away. And that's all you protect to keep the at bat alive. Just slap at the ball whenever you can. Almost does it there.
Gausman with the 0-2 delivery. Another one he's late on the fastball. And the count stays at 2 strikes.
Well, seems like a good candidate for climbing the ladder. Keep pumping that fastball in there, riding it up to the top. A little late, obviously, on the heater. Until he proves he can get the head out on it, might as well keep throwing it.
0-2, and that one off the fist will go to short. Hardy's got it. JJ will make the throw. And a first out here in the 2nd inning. Now the Orioles return home on Monday as the race for October powers up. It'll be the Jays' big 3-game series. Good seats available. Playoff push is underway. Get your tickets at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. One down here in the 2nd inning. And Zimmerman. Ryan Zimmerman, 5-game hit streak. Went 1 for 4 in the ball game last night. Red Sox playing against Tampa Bay, second of the 4-game series. Red Sox have won 9 of their last 11. Red Sox have outscored opponents in those games by 39 runs. They're averaging 6.7 runs a game. Boston, Tampa tonight, no score. They are in the 2nd inning. Red Sox, Toronto tied for first. 0-2 delivery. Roller. Hardy on about the 5th hop. Hurries it over. 2 down.
They're making it look easy right there. A tough play. Little chopper. Zimmerman reaching out on the good breaking ball. Well, JJ's got to close the distance, and at the last second he sets up, but that ball kicks up. So good positioning with the feet, and you better have your eyes and hands ready. Hardy does. Subtle move with the glove. Protect the baseball with the 2nd out.
New DH Clint Robinson. Get the left-handed bat in the lineup tonight. Worth was the DH in the ball game last night. Ben Revere started, not playing as a starter in this game. Power hitter, 1 ball, 1 strike count. Robinson, longtime minor leaguer, noted for the pop in his bat. And a big cut, foul tipped into the mitt. Gausman will get ahead of him, a ball and 2 strikes. Robinson is 32 years old, a lot of time in the minors. First baseman, outfielder. 1-2 pitch on the way, and he goes upstairs and gets it. So 1-2-3 inning for Kevin Gausman. The Orioles have a 1-0 lead. Jonathan Scope asks, how did Curacao do in the Little League? We'll tell you. game. David Cruson from Annapolis, 500 for being selected, 500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play Home Run Rich's scratch-offs, win up to $50,000, or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Go to mdlottery.com/baseball. You're going to live in Annapolis. Your name should be Cruson.
Yeah, absolutely. Something to do with water, boat, right?
Sail away. Love the hats, love the outfits. Summer night here at the ballpark. They're looking good. Kids having a good time. Seeing an important ball game on a night just made for baseball. Here is Jonathan Schoop. 6-game hit streak for Jonathan. Jonathan didn't want to hear Curaçao lost. Murphy will make the play, and Schoop is retired. Jonathan, of course, played for a very fine Little League World Series team from Curaçao. Today, Australia eliminated Curaçao 2-1. So Curaçao is out.
Wow.
Jonathan will not be happy to hear that.
No.
We were checking on the score. He played for that Willemstad team from Curaçao in 2004, and they won the Little League Championship.
Yeah, I think he was pitching, right, for the last out.
Yeah. Pedro Alvarez. Alvarez an 0 for 3 DHing. Pitch away. Baseball news. Josh Hamilton unconditional release, placed on waivers, has missed the entire season with that cartilage torn ACL. So that may be it for Hamilton, who has bounced back innumerable times from all kinds of problems.
Yeah, it's tough. You start missing full years when you get a little bit older. A lot harder to make that comeback.
2-0 count. Alvarez to be followed by Matt Wieters. And that one will be fouled back upstairs. 94. A couple of pitchers who can bring some pretty good red numbers.
Yeah, sure can. They are letting it fly and making it look easy right now. How about Strasburg and Scherzer? A couple good righties.
Orioles are going to get a look at Scherzer in the second game in Washington. It'll be Miley and Tanner Roark tomorrow. Chris Tillman probably not, and Max Scherzer probably. And there's the walk. Alvarez is on with one away. Chris Tillman, the news today, not good. He had a bullpen session, but Showalter said it did not go well. The doctor was coming in. I'm assuming the doctor's already been here, an examination done. So now there's concern that it's something physical that may be wrong. We have not had a report on what the doctor found, if anything, but Buck Showalter certainly sounded as though Tillman is not going to start that game. Game 2 in Washington, but we'll see. Trying to bunt for the base hit. Wieters had that shift on, so he had third base open, tried to put it down, fouls it back.
Good opportunity there for Matt Wieters. I mean, that's the kind of opportunities we were talking about. Start this game. A chance. This put some pressure on the defense here. Runner in the scoring position, maybe a little bit more.
Wieters 0 for 3 last night. They have the shift on still. He's still bunting, and again it will be fouled off. So he meant it. He was trying to get a base hit, but could not get the ball down. Alvarez back to first base. Buck Showalter, tongue-in-cheek, saying, asked about how's Matt doing before the game today. Said he's napping. New baby's home.
Yeah.
Oh, the mother-in-law is helping, but baby still cries.
Not easy.
Loud. 0-2. That's why you don't bunt, Matt. That's going to be a fair ball. Little rattle around in the doorway. Alvarez being waved home by Bobby Ferguson. Can't get that ball out of the corner. No play at the plate. Double and an RBI. Fortunate he didn't get the first 2 bunts down. 2-0 lead.
There you go. Nice job by Matt Wieters, though, to forget about the 2 missed bunt attempts. Concentrate on the baseball, picking up his 13th double. Go ahead RBI here. Hooking it down that right field line, and it hangs on and gets tied up in the tough right field corner. Alvarez hustling around, but he's kind of thinking, probably have the brakes put on. No, no, no. Bobby Dickerson say, you better get going. Dickerson being very aggressive here in the early part of this ball game.
So Wieters picking up the RBI. Orioles have 2 runs on 3 hits. Slider's going to miss outside. Wieters gets his 46th run batted in of the year. Bryce Harper has found in the 2 games here just how tough that right field here at Camden Yards can be.
Yeah.
1-0 count. And a timeout asked for by J.J. Hardy. J.J. had a 1 for 3 in the ball game last night. Continues his best month of the season. 1-0 delivery, and that'll miss outside for a ball. Hardy hitting .266. He has had 3 home runs here in the month of August. He's got an RBI opportunity here with Matt Wieters not being held at all at second base, and that one will be fouled back in a 2-ball 1-strike count.
Nice pass there by J.J. Hardy. Get him elevated. Pull those fastballs down low. He's shown he can command. Tough to get to. Finally getting one elevated. Nice pass by Hardy.
2-1. J.J. on a heater that's there. Came over the top on that one. Took a little off it. And a 2-ball 2-strike count. There's Alvarez, who motored around to score a run from first base on that double by Matt Wieters. Long hold for the 2-2 delivery, and Hardy another swinging bunt. Plays at first. Gets it there in time for the out. Wieters will go over to third, and there are 2 down. Now the New York Yankees, their final trip to the ballpark will be a 3-game weekend series beginning Friday, September 2. Back the Birds, classic rival, and games that seemingly going to be important for both of those teams. And tickets are going fast for these games, including Sunday's Kids Run the Bases event as well. Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD for tickets. Adam Jones, a base hit and a run scored. He's got Matt Wieters on at third base. And there are 2 away. Adam, 293 in the month of August. He's had a very good month, 4 home runs. Adam will take the pitch inside for a ball.
Adam has settled into pretty good consistency since moving to the top of the order. Struggles early on in the year.
Swings at a pitch. Had him chasing on that one. 1-1.
Yeah, nasty breaking ball there, and Jones coming out and stretching out all kind of different muscles. Gets stretched out himself on the big hook.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Look over at Wieters. Adam the other way again. That's just foul. That's when you hear everybody in the dugout hollering, "Get down, get down."
Yeah. And probably Adam saying the same thing. He's just missed a couple base hits down the right field line in this ball game.
That makes his way back to third. A 1 ball 2 strike count on Adam. Talking about the Yankees, they're at Seattle. Seattle had a big comeback win against them. The Mariners won 15 of 20. They are 1 game out of the second wild card spot now. 1 ball 2 strike delivery on the way. Adam to the middle and knocked down. Espinosa overthrows. Adam Jones will stay right there. Zimmerman will go get the baseball, and a run scores, and the Orioles have a 3-0 lead. We'll see what the call is on that, but that was an almost impossible play.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting by Adam Jones, pulling the hands inside. Espinosa, boy, what an athletic play, just getting to the baseball, and tries a little pirouette and yoinks it away. Off it goes, but Adam Jones wisely holding his ground at first base. Zimmerman went to get that baseball. You make a turn, he might be able to get that out on Adam Jones, but a run crossing the plate. It's Adam Jones's hands on the breaking ball, pulling him inside. Woo. Espinosa, nice deep angle. been nice on the highlight film. Jones picking up a knock.
Base hit and his 74th RBI as Matt Wieters scores. The Orioles have a 3-0 lead. 2 runs in here in this inning, with Wieters and Jones picking up the runs batted in. The Orioles have 3 runs on 4 hits. Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, out to have a word with his young right-hander Lopez. There are 2 away. Pierce drew a walk his first time up. Steve will take a breaking ball for a strike. Adam now has picked up 74 RBIs on the year for the Orioles. Ronaldo Lopez. It's one of those starts where not much has gone right for him, and the Orioles have taken advantage of it. 1-0 delivery on the way, and a breaking ball that froze him. Little jelly leg on that one, and the count goes to 0-2.
Oh yeah, well, pitcher you don't really know. If that breaking ball starts off right at Steve Pierce, these are going to buckle a little bit. The Orioles seems like historically have had a hard time off pitchers they haven't seen before. Nice to see him having the patient at bat, waiting Lopez out a little bit.
Pierce out in front. For Steve, this is game number 11 since rejoining the Orioles. He's gone 5 for 21. Extra base hits, a double, a home run, 1 RBI. Overall this year, a very solid 3.02 average. Steve's had over 480 at bats combined this season, so he's getting in a full year of plate appearances.
Oh yeah, he was a big time offensive contributor on a team that didn't have much offense with Tampa before the Orioles were able to pick him up.
Lopez trying to work in a hurry here. Orioles are stepping out on him as Pierce did there. 0-2 pitch on the way. Steve will take it down low. Ball and 2 strikes.
This young man doesn't seem too caught up in this right now.
No,
he's kind of going about his business.
Yep. 1-2 delivery on the way. Pierce will take that one, and that will be outside. Lopez is in a starting rotation here and got called up because of some injuries. Filling in for Joe Ross, who's got a shoulder problem, went on the DL July 3. Dusty Baker saying this week Ross, when he comes back, may be out of the bullpen and not a starter anymore. 2-ball, 2-strike pitch on the way, and that one towering fly ball. Worth may have room, and does, in fair territory, and puts it away. Orioles will get a couple of runs. They do it on 2 hits, 1 left on. Orioles up 3-0. By T-Mobile to our Major League Notebook on our East Winds page. Blue Jays, they've got 6 games against 2 last place teams, starting with the Angels and then the Twins. For David Ortiz and the Red Sox, 40 doubles, 5th season he's done that, and the first major league player to hit 40 doubles at age 40 or older. And for Gary Sanchez, one of the young Yankees, he's the second Yankee player to hit 7+ homers in his first 19 games. Kevin Maas in 1991 finished his rookie season with 21 homers, 79 games with the Yankees.
Kevin Maas, a couple good years with the Yankees.
Yep.
That was about it.
That was it. Yep. Then it went away.
Sanchez hoping he can last a little bit longer.
Yeah. Angels have a 2-1 lead over the Blue Jays in Toronto tonight. Tyler Skaggs against R.A. Dickey, starting pitchers in that ball game. Blue Jays coming off a couple of losses, lost 2 out of 3 against the Indians over the weekend. They had a day off yesterday. Angels really struggling, losing 14 of their last 17.
Oh.
Kevin Gausman's got a 3-0 lead here in his home yard. Danny Espinosa will take the pitch. 2-0. Espinosa, a 1-for-4 in the ball game last night. He delivered a long ball, his 19th, came in the 7th inning and was the 3rd run and what would be the final run, but made it a 1-run ball game. Espinosa and Turner at the top, and that pitch will miss, and Gausman falls behind 3-0.
Get right back in that strike zone, but maybe the worms turning for Gausman as far as run support goes. His last start, Orioles gave him 12 runs of support. Ended up winning 13-5 here in this ball game. 3 early runs. Help Kevin settle in a little bit.
That will relax you a little bit after you were getting only 2.5 runs a game for the first 4 months. 3 ball, 1 strike count on Danny Espinosa. Espinosa switch hitter. Dave Wallace, Oriole pitching coach. 3-1 delivery on the way. Towering fly ball to right. I mean, punt coverage there would be total. And it's put away by Trumbo, and Espinosa is retired. Well, root for the home team, and during this battle of the Beltways, we're giving you a chance to win an autographed Adam Jones bat. Head to our Twitter at Masson Orioles for your chance to win. That's at Masson Orioles on Twitter to enter to win a signed Adam Jones bat. Adam already 2 for 2 RBI and a run scored in this game. Here's Turner, top of the order, single. Then a caught stealing where he was initially ruled safe, challenged, went to New York, and Jonathan Scope was found to have put the tag on him in time, and a big play in the first inning. 1-0 delivery, and that'll be taken outside. That's right there with the mishap last night Daniel Murphy had after leading off with a double. Ground ball back to the mound. Hart got him caught off at a ground ball back to the mound and threw him out at second. Big play. That'll be a base hit. So Turner's 2 for 2. Solid shot. 1 on, 1 down. Here's our PNC minor league report. PNC for the achiever in you.
Ariel Alvarez having himself another very solid year in the minor leagues. AAA Norfolk last 3 games, 692, 9 for 13 with 3 doubles, 5 runs scored. How about this season? 294 average, 50 runs, 36 doubles. Second most in the International League. We'll see him soon. About a week.
That'll bring Jason Worth up to the plate. 10th in walks in the National League. Drew a walk his first time up. Runner at first. Will he try and run again? Only the second time Turner's been caught in the first inning after it looked like he'd picked up a stolen base. And he's now 14 out of 16.
He gets himself a big lead, and you'd think with that natural speed, but it all boils down to the jump. Did he get a good jump or not? He must not have got the best one that first time.
There he goes. Weeder's up. Weeder's cannon. And safe. Jonathan Scope looking at Lance Barksdale, second base umpire, hoping that maybe Barksdale might have thought he tagged him on the way by.
Yeah, same type of play. Ball going up the line again. Scope stepping in front. Oh, this time catches him on the shoe. Oh my. Wow.
That's close. But Showalter's holding it up while the video crew takes a look at it here.
Man.
That's a very tough.
Boy, almost when it caught it on his body too. Couldn't tell. I'll tell you this. When a second baseman or shortstop cuts in front, they're taught to try to catch it as deep as possible, and he may have caught him on the hip, and then he caught him on the foot for sure.
Yeah. Buck waiting.
Man, a couple nice plays by Jonathan Schoop.
Now, does he catch him on the leg right here?
How deep he catches the baseball.
Right there.
Man, looks like he's all on him.
Buck wants a challenge. So for the second time, and out at second base, Turner just put his hands up and went, eh. Second time there's been a challenge on his attempted steals, and again it involves Schoop.
Boy, look how tight Schoop keeps the glove to the body. That is close right there. Nice play. Letting the ball travel, catching it deep.
And New York getting a workout on
Really?
Turner's attempted steals.
Yeah, you can't get into that good position. And the crowd seeing the replay, they're thinking he's out. Can't get in that position if you're late. Jonathan Schoop on time. Matt Wieters.
Trey Turner in the minor leagues had 52 stolen bases in 185 games. He was caught only 10 times in his minor league career. That's where the question is really. I think the foot was late, but the question whether he got him on the leg as he went by.
Yeah.
While this is going on, Kevin Gausman will continue to take some tosses.
Yeah, it looked like he caught it right on his body, right on his hip. Ball, glove, hip, all at the same time, right there.
Turner out of NC State. There he used his speed, college ball. He's all the way over to the dugout.
There's some kind of tell on the contact.
Good luck in New York.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
Long look here. Matt Wieters made a good quick throw. And another angle. Well, there it looks like it didn't get him. Is it worth it to have this kind of a delay in the game on a play like this? Or do you just let an umpire's call on the field go? I don't know the answer to that. Baseball decided it was worth it, but man, does it. We got him. I mean, that's twice the video replay has resulted in Turner not getting a stolen base. So the Orioles are 2 for 2 in challenges.
Now, Matt Wieters, the quick release, lightning quick release, but helped out on the back end by Jonathan Schoop twice in this ball game. Probably the fastest guy in the game. Turner, 2 attempts, 2 times going down.
Wow. First time I've seen that.
Yeah.
We're on the same player, same play, caught stealing. Big plays. So that takes the runner off. Now there are 2 down, nobody on. 2-0 delivery will be in there for a strike to Jason Worth. And the count goes to 2-1. Gausman a chance to face just 3 here. He'll miss outside with that one. Well, for Turner, who'd been caught only once, the Orioles have doubled that up in his first 2 at-bats. 3-1 pitch. And that's a strike. Worth will regroup. A little what say from the Nationals dugout. As the home plate umpire, Will Little, took a look over. Worth stands out. 3-ball, 2-strike count. And this one he'll walk on. So Kevin Gausman issues the free pass, his second. It comes with 2 down here in the 3rd inning.
Both to Jason Worth.
Yep. And it will give Murphy a chance at the plate. NLCS MVP. They've got him a new deal, 3-year deal. And he's produced.
Yeah, and reports are just a full-time gamer. And great for the clubhouse. He isn't just backing it up with the numbers. He's bringing it on both sides as far as leadership. This is what teams target. They go in that free agent market in the offseason. They need character guys. It's going to keep everybody up playing good baseball, and Murphy's done that for this clubhouse.
Especially after you get a big deal. Public and players are looking to see, all right, you still going to go work at it, or are you going to just meander along now that you're taken care of for life?
Right.
And he's done everything but that. 0-2 count. Worth over there at first base. He was stranded at third when he drew the walk in the first inning. Evans 0-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be outside. Murphy stepping up on it. It stays away from it. And a 1-ball 2-strike count. Already up to 56 on that pitch count.
The Nationals, as you talked about, they're not going to help him out at all. They have to make good pitches.
Towering fly ball down the line. He's trying to give it a Carlton Fisk, and foul. And no argument on that one, but again, that's the 3rd ball in 2 games that have been right there over the fair foul pole.
Yeah.
He took a long look, Murphy did, and gave it the Carlton Fisk body language. There you see it, and it was foul.
That's a good look right there.
Right to the outer edge of the seats down the line. Ted Barrett, the call at first base. 1-2 delivery on the way. Fouls that one off the other way. Well, the count will stay at 1-2. Kevin Gausman, as we talked about, each of the last 4 home starts he's won. Last pitcher with a longer single season streak was Chris Tillman. Chris won 6 consecutive home games back in June and August of 2013. Kevin Gausman trying to get one, and Tillman over there. Will he make his start against the Nationals in Washington? A question. Protecting, fouls it off.
A nice changeup. Murphy doing what the quality vet does. Reaching out there, keeping the at bat alive on a quality pitch.
1-2.
Stood by the replay.
Yeah. Turner's got to be wondering, should I try again if I get on? Maybe I'll just stay at first base. Here's the 1-2 delivery to him. Reaching, ground ball, second base. Scope, not hit very hard. He'll hustle it over and get the out. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. The Orioles 2 for 2 in challenges. Scope wins. He's got 2. Turner's got none. Orioles baseball on MASN, brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by American Standard Heating and Air. For the best in home comfort, choose the brand voted #1. American Standard Heating and Air right now gets special financing. Find your dealer at midatlanticcomfort.com. With Mike Bordick, I'm Gary Thorne. The Orioles have a 3-0 lead. 3-4-0 for the O's. 0-3-0. Jonathan Scope with those tags at second base on Turner, already a big part in this ball game. And for Turner, those are enormous outs. I mean, there have been 3 big outs in the first 2 games of the series recorded at second base.
Yeah, well, you know what? Those type of plays, they don't happen every night in the major leagues.
No.
This is paying attention to the fundamentals, the details of a game that sometimes gets overlooked in tagging. And especially on throws that go up the line, you see time and time again a second baseman or shortstop will take the throw behind the base. Just doesn't give you don't have any position to make the out. Jonathan Scope stepping in front, gives himself a chance, catches it deep. Big time plays for Scope.
Here's Manny Machado against the 22-year-old right-hander who has walked 2 and struck out 1. Gosman's same number, walked 2, struck out 1. Machado a strikeout victim his first time up. Manny will take the pitch on the corner for a strike. Orioles looking for their 42nd win at home, 41-22. Boy, a tremendous off-speed pitch right there.
Yeah, real good breaking ball. As talked about, they said power fastball, curveball combination. Good one there.
Little bouncer, no. Did not go around on it. So Manny gets the count evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the delivery swung at and missed. That's the one he got Manny on first time. A couple of strikeouts, both against Machado.
Now, once Lopez started featuring the breaking ball in his last 2 starts, he started having some success. Take a look at the Nissan pitch track. Last 3 pitches to Machado. This breaking ball here. 2 of them up. 1 in the dirt. This one gets Machado out in front.
Leadoff man retired. 2 out of 3 innings for Lopez. Chris Davis. Davis hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. Chris with a 1 for 4 here in the first 2 games. Going for the launch job right there on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. 1-1.
Yeah, cutting it loose. We don't have to think about anything else. Gear up for the heat.
Inside corner strike. Chris turns to invite Will Little for after the game beverage.
I was to say, you try to hit that pitch.
1-2 is taken down low. 2 ball, 2 strikeout. Pretty impressive early performance by Lopez, even though he trails here 3-0. Works outside and will miss. So Chris able to work at full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, when they look at young arms, they don't look at just the velocity that comes out.
The other way, and that's a base hit. Boy, if Chris is willing to surrender the complete home run swing with a 2-strike count and take it the other way, that's what he'll get.
Yeah, absolutely. How about that? Look at the hitting coaches getting together there, smiling about it. Are you kidding me? 2 strikes, slapping it the other way? Why not? This could be the game changer right here. Chris Davis starts doing that. Nasty pitch. Look at the concentration, staying on it. That is all about going the other way. I mean, he wasn't trying to do anything else but fight with 2 strikes. Nice sound approach by CD. Scott Coolbaugh, hitting coach, approving.
Mark Trumbo, a base hit and an RBI. And Trumbo will take the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Mark hitting just about $170 over the last 15 games, but he's got 16 RBIs in those games because of the long ball and base hit in this one for an RBI. He'll foul that one off the other way. Let's take a look at our Maryland Casino inside the numbers.
Yeah, how about this? Orioles offense setting records. They're looking to set some more records. Trumbo 38 home runs this year. They're looking to have 4 straight years of league leaders in home runs. The last time that was done back in 47 through 52, and it was all done by Ralph Kiner. If Trumbo continues to lead the league in homers, Orioles will be in the record books again.
Pitch will be taken up high. 9 players finished last year with 40 home runs. 9 of them last season. It's a mark to get over in this day and age. 1 ball, 2 strike count. 1 down. Davis on at first base. Trumbo's going to get one to left field, and he's got another base hit. So Mark's on. Figured he had 7 home runs on the last 7 hits he had prior to tonight, so why not start up again with 2 singles?
Yeah, a couple nice swings on a couple breaking balls from Trumbo as well. And this one kind of floating up there, and he just slaps it to left field.
Trumbo on. 2 for 2 for him. 2 for 2 for Adam Jones. And for the second time tonight, I'm going to bring Mike Maddox out to talk to Lopez with Ramos, the catcher. Mike has had an outstanding season with the staff that he's had. The injury is starting to take a little bite in that, as this Washington team has lived off primarily what their starters have done. Second in ERA overall. Starters are second in ERA, and the bullpen's first. But Steven Strasburg down for maybe a couple of starts. A couple of youngsters up. Cole did a great job last night, and he's 24 years old, and now Lopez tonight.
Yeah, so you take your chances with some young guys. You know, the track record's obviously not there. I think the Orioles probably trying to might have to do that themselves. Get some young arms up here and maybe surprise attack some teams.
So 2 on, 1 away, and Jonathan Scope grounded out his first time up. Delivery to him by Lopez. The strike in the outside corner.
How about Jonathan Scope, 5th Orioles player with 20 home runs this season, and it was a bomb directly over the left field foul pole. Beautiful swing from Scope.
0-1. Lopez, he holds it for a while. Reared back at 95, but missed it inside. A 1 ball, 1 strike count. Orioles have won 15 of the last 21 games played against this Washington team. 15 of 21, counting that win last night, 4-3. So the Orioles the last few years have started to dominate. Haven't lost a season series. Got to go back to 07. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Scope will take the off-speed pitch away, and the count goes to 2-1. Single by Davis, single by Trumbo. They're on with 1 away. The Joe Walters Ball Club looking for their 69th win of the year. 2-1 pitch. That's the one he gets. He tries to get the right-handers. That's the one he's worked on Adam Jones, working on Scope. That tailing pitch away.
Yeah. Good breaking ball, and he's starting to feature it more in the middle part of this ball game now. A lot of fastballs early, a lot of breaking balls in this inning. Hitting Jonathan Scope out in front.
And a 2 ball, 2 strike count on Scope. Lopez, the delivery to him, that'll be fouled away. Jonathan with the 6-game hit streak. He's gone 8 for 22 during the streak with a couple of home runs. His long streak this year, 11-game hit streak, where he hit 489 during that streak. Two balls, 2 strikes. Scope rips that one down the line left field, and it does sit down. Takes a hop off the wall. Davis will score. Trumbo will stay. RBI double for Scope, and a 4-0 Orioles lead.
Another beautiful swing from Jonathan Schoop. He has been locked in here recently on a tough breaking ball. How about this breaking ball starting on the outside corner, but Schoop has seen it. Saw it a couple times in this at bat. He reaches out and touches it, slapping it down that left field line. Got a mistake on the end.
Well, the Orioles are 3 for 6 with runners in scoring position so far, and have taken a 4-0 lead on 7 hits. Alvarez drew a walk and scored in the second inning. Shift is on. They'll surrender the run here unless it's a hard hit ball to third. Rendon's the only one over there. Runners at second and third. Alvarez will take the pitch down low for a ball. So the Orioles a chance to add to it. They're doing this each inning now with 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 so far here in the third. Trumbo, lead runner. Schoop down at second base. .1-0 delivery to him, way up high, and a little movement in the bullpen for the Nationals now. Maddox talking with Dusty Baker. This one maybe getting away from the 22-year-old, and they want more time for the pen, I think, here to get somebody up as they send Ramos out. They're loosening up. Nobody's throwing down there yet, though.
A little bit of time, but I'm surprised that nobody is throwing in the bullpen. Maybe just tell them, okay, be careful here. You got an open base. Try to pitch for the double play ball instead of taking the chances on Alvarez. The phone finally ringing.
Bullpen's in pretty good shape here with Cole's performance yesterday. Big swing, hats off. Big backswing by Alvarez. What a cut that was.
Yeah, 2-0. Cookie time. Alvarez eyes lighting up. Well, two-seamer leaking back over. Aggressive cut by the Bull.
And misses a little bit away. So a 3-ball 1-strike count. Alvarez. Matt Wieters waiting in the on-deck circle as Lopez in his 5th start this year struggling. 3-1 delivery on the way. Alvarez had one there and fouls it straight back. Now remains 3 balls 2 strikes. Belisle up in the bullpen. Tell Dusty Baker, a manager over there, is wondering, have I waited too long? You can just see the look in his eyes over there, because you got 2 in scoring position here.
Well, he's been walking a fine line with the bullpen anyway, so probably want to stretch him out as much as he can.
So the bases are loaded. 3rd walk surrendered by Lopez. And the Orioles load him up with only 1 away here in the 3rd inning. And Matt Wieters coming to the plate. Bullpen is not ready, even if they wanted to make a move right here. And there are the Orioles threesome: Trumbo, Schoop, and Alvarez. Wieters already an RBI double. He was going 1 for the baby right there.
Rather deep inside the numbers there. 1 for 2 with the bases loaded.
Wieters will foul that one back. So Lopez throwing strikes. Matt has done a heck of a job with the sacks full this year. He's gone 5 for 10, hitting .500 with the bases loaded. He's had 12 RBIs out of these situations this year. Pitch on the way to him, and that'll be up high at 97. Lopez trying to find a little extra mustard, knowing the end is near. 1-2 delivery. Wieters puts it up in the air, not deep. Shortstop back, called off. Worth, and the runners get back to their bases. Big out. Nobody can advance on the shallow fly ball to Worth. Jason Worth in left. Yeah, Espinosa going out, but that was clearly a ball for the outfield.
Yeah, this is important time right here. You do not want to let this opportunity go by early in the ball game. Chance to put some more marks on the board. This Nationals offense has been solid all year long, so you get chances like this, you try to capitalize on them.
So J.J. Hardy's going to get the opportunity. Hardy with the sacks full, 1 for 5. Breaking ball that leaned him back and is in there for a strike. J.J. grounded out his first time up. The Orioles have a run in. Back-to-back singles, Davis and Trumbo, and then the RBI by Scope with a double. 0-1 pitch. Hardy will take it away. 1-1. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Orioles. No runs, 3 hits for the Nationals. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way. Hardy hits it right to second. It's bobbled by Murphy, and a run will score, and another one's coming home. 2 will score. Trumbo from third, and Scope hustling from second base as Murphy commits the error of what should have been the third out.
Wow, Orioles pitching a big time break right there. Murphy over boogieing right here. JJ hits this one pretty hard, but he gets in attack mode. He's coming to get it. Seemed like an easy ball to sit back on, get a good read, and when you take a look at Murphy, he's all about charging. That ball eats him up. Jonathan Scope, great base running, hustling around from second base.
10th error charged on Murphy, who's had a couple of tough nights here at Camden Yards. Dusty Baker, the pitching change.
And Orioles had a great game plan against him. He wasn't helped out by his own defense. Couple runs crossing, 4 earned runs, 6 runs on the night, and only lasting 2 2/3, scattering the 7 hits. He'll give way to Matt Belisle with this fastball 58% of the time, low 90s with the heater. Breaking ball has a slider in, curveball, and the rare changeup. 2.06 earned run average. This will be his 33rd appearance for the Nats. He's hitting 261. Righties way up to 351, but controlling the lefties. Just that 150 overall batting average.
35-year-old veteran who was with the Cardinals last year. Belisle, 34 appearances, went 1-1. Gonzalez having a word with the young starter about working through a game. Mike Maddox, pitching coach, sitting next to him there, but that's a tough one. So runners on at first and second base. And Adam Jones in the leadoff spot. 2 singles, an RBI, and a run scored. He will be the 8th Oriole to hit here in the 3rd inning. 2 down and 2 on. Belisle's delivery to him. Adam will take the pitch. It'll be in there for a strike. Had a wrinkle on that one. Adam is 0 for 1. How many times he has faced Belisle. 0-1, 2 down. Nationals have not had a good 2 nights so far. And a swing and a miss. Showing Adam the same thing Lopez was showing. That slider away.
Yeah, good breaking ball down and away. That's the target spot, but you better get it off the plate. And you better get it off the plate to this whole Orioles lineup, because they do some damage on breaking balls that are just spinning on the white.
Belisle making just his second appearance against the Orioles ever. Previously has worked only 1 inning against the O's. 0-2. Inside jam shot right there. He just got the handle on that one and fouled it off. Alvarez back to second base. Hardy on at first, reaching on the error. No RBIs. 2 runs scored on the error. And an 0-2 count on Adam. And Lopez, the starter, thinking about what's gone on in this game. And so is Murphy. What's gone on in these 2 games. 0-2 pitch on the way. Adam will take a breaking ball, stopped by Ramos.
Well, I think Murphy kind of knows how to flush out the bad stuff and move on to the next pitch, the next play. A concern, and that's why you saw Gonzalez and pitching coach Maddox over there hovered around Lopez. You know, young players sometimes have a hard time dealing with failure and success. Both can be really tough to deal with. So you kind of pull them back down. Say, hey, don't worry about it. Settle the nerves. Don't get caught up in this outing. Your stuff was good. You just faced a tough offense. You know, try to keep it as positive as possible, because you do not want the confidence of a 22-year-old arm like that to go down the tubes.
Yep. Yeah, it's a lot of mental stuff involved in the game at this level.
It's, you know, I mean, you hear it all the time. I mean, at the major league level, everybody's got the talent up here. It's just what's between the ears. How do you handle the failures and the successes?
That one, a swinging bunt. Shortstop Espinosa charging, throws. Got him! Buck Showalter's going to look at that, too. Adam Jones flying across the bag. And that was a close play. Big charge. No mercy.
Yeah, he beat it.
I think he's safe.
Nice hustle by Adam Jones. I mean, great to see your team captain flying down the line.
Ball, remember on this, the ball's got to be in the back of the glove, and this play, the angle you saw before that shows the ball was not in the back of the glove, because you could see the back of the glove move. Watch the back of the glove. Foot's on. He's safe. Nationals are going to be voting against any more replays. Right. Orioles are already 2 for 2 on 2 big plays. Adam Jones is probably going to get a infield hit, which would load the bases up again. So for the 3rd time the Orioles challenge. First 2 were on attempted steals by Turner. On both times he was called safe. The replay had him out. On this one he was called out, and I think he's going to be called safe.
Should be. Appears on that replay. Nice play by Espinosa is short. He's had a couple pretty impressive athletic plays that hasn't been rewarded for it in this ball game. Adam Jones always hustling down the line. It'd be nice to get rewarded for it.
Yep. 3 for 3. So the Orioles' 3rd challenge, and for the 3rd time they win. Adam Jones is safe at first base. He's 3 for 3 in the ball game. 3 singles. And now the bases are loaded, and the inning will continue with Steve Pearce coming up with the sacks full and 2 down. Well, let's see if Pearce can take advantage of the call turned over. Alvarez a walk at third base. Hardy reaching on the error at second, and then the single by Jones. Belial had hoped he had gotten himself out of the inning, but not to be. Delivery to Pearce, and that will be taken for a strike. Well, Steve gets an opportunity to really put some distance between these two ball clubs. Oh, 1 delivery on the way. Pearce will foul that one back. And the count goes to 0-2 from Belial.
Well, definitely a nice start for this Orioles offense. 1 through 9. A real good game plan, showing some patience. And the detail of winning and losing comes into play, and little things the Orioles have done in this ball game, making a huge impact. Adam Jones hustling down the line. Jonathan Schoop being fundamentally sound in his tags.
Down to first base, little squibber played to the bag by Zimmerman, and that will end it. But the Orioles bat around here in the 3rd inning, come up with 3 runs. They leave them loaded. They've got the 6-0 lead.
Bases, Trey Turner, but Matt Wieters with a quick release. Jonathan Schoop, how about the tag going up the line to help Matt Wieters review? He's out. 3rd inning. He's trying it again. Wieters another quick release. Ball goes up the line again, and Jonathan Schoop catching it deep, gets it on the hip. He's out again. Caught 3 times this year, all by review. Now it's time for the Coons American League leaderboard. How about Matt Wieters? 15 caught stealing this year behind Perez and McCann. Matt Wieters still whipping out the Gold Glove quality defense. That was Jim Coons' American League leaderboard, brought to you by Coons.com. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting.
So the Orioles have a big 6-0 lead at the end of 3, batting around there in the 3rd inning. Here is Heipert, who will take it for a strike. Heipert had a base hit his first time up. It's these kind of games that will worry a manager and the players too, on a team like Washington that's got this 8-game lead. Are they going into that funk of, we've already won the division, so let's just get this over with?
Ooh.
You don't want to ever see that happen. It's human nature. When you get the big lead, you kind of take a breath and you let down a little bit. And I don't know if that's happening to Washington or not, but you sense that a little bit. If the fire's not there, there's not quite the same drive. There were mistakes being made.
Yeah.
Boy, if that switch gets flipped. Sometimes it doesn't get flipped back the other way.
I hear you. Oh man, and it is hard to turn it back on, especially down the stretch.
2-1 has popped up. Manny Machado's the only one over there. Foul territory, and he's got it. Fourth inning of Orioles baseball brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid all-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. Over Kevin Gausman, long time to sit, watch, and enjoy. 3 runs scored, third inning, 2 of those unearned. So for Lopez, their young starter, he's charged with 6 runs, 4 earned on 7 hits in 2 2/3 innings. He walked 3 and struck out 2. Rendon flied out to right field his first time up, and a timeout asked for by Matt Wieters at the plate. Gausman's delivery, and that will be there for a strike. Talking about teams heading for the playoffs, how about Kansas City? Everyone had them counted out a month ago. They have now won 8 in a row. 13 out of 15. They lead the Marlins tonight 1-0 in the 6th inning of their game. The Royals have gained 5.5 games in the wild card race over the last 15 games. 0-2 count. And the pitch is away. Marlins, of course, are fighting for a wild card spot as well. So 2 teams desperately needing wins playing tonight in Florida. 1 ball, 2 strike count, and that one will be bounced by Gausman. Evens the count up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Those of you who stay up late have it available on radio TV. Giants Dodgers tonight. That ball's foul back. That great rivalry once again looks like it's going to go right down to the wire as they play at Dodger Stadium tonight. It's the first of 3. Bumgarner against Kenta Maeda. And in the first of 9 games they're going to play for the rest of the season, 6 will be played in the last 13 days between the Giants and Dodgers. The Giants were in first place throughout most of the year, and the last 2 weeks have just died off, and the Dodgers were in first place.
Yep.
So Vinny's going to have a good finish to his broadcast career.
Right.
3-2 delivery on the way. A little slow roller. Manny Machado, no play on that one. That'll be an infield single. Rendon beating that one out. So with 1 away, he's on.
A couple of those in this ball game. Tough luck for Kevin Gausman making a good pitch. Manny, even if he comes up with this one, not going to be able to get Rendon.
So hit number 4. They've all been singles. Here's Ramos up. He grounded out his first time to the plate. Kevin's got the 6-0 lead in this ball game, but it's only the 4th inning and he's over 70 pitches.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been easy for either pitcher. A lot of pitches thrown. This Nationals team very patient. Love working starting pitchers, trying to get into the bullpens. Kevin Gausman needs a little help here. How about some early contact?
Ramos 7th in the league in average, starting at .319 coming into today's play, and not going to bite. Takes the pitch, 2-0 count. Both walks have been picked up by Jason Worth that Gausman has surrendered in the ball game. But as Mike said along the way, there have been a lot of foul balls and 3-1, 2-0 counts that have forced the issue. 2-0 pitch. In the air, first base. Davis. He's got it. And there are 2 down. On Friday, September 16, when the Orioles take on the Rays, 7:05, the first 20,000 fans 15 and over get the Orioles high socks You can show your colors head to toe with this new promotional giveaway. The push for the playoffs is on. Get your tickets at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Those are the high socks worn by Adam Jones. In recognition of how it used to be on every player. 2 down, a runner on. Here's Zimmerman, grounded out his first time up. Goes after the first pitch. Scope going back. Trumbo coming in. Trumbo wants it. Trumbo's got it. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. The Orioles trying to take the first 2 against Washington, have the lead. Well, the Orioles jumping out in this one 6-8-0. The Nationals 0-4-1. Orioles have driven Lopez, the starter, out. Belial came on to get the side out, giving up a hit in the 3rd inning. Orioles batted around, so here's Manny Machado again. Manny led it off with a strikeout in the 3rd. He has struck out twice, and Belial's pitch swung on and missed. So Belial will be asked to eat some innings here if he can. They don't have to go too deep into this bullpen, which had thrown so much before last night's game. Pitch will be taken inside. Pitched against Atlanta. Belial did just a 1/3 of an inning, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits 3 days ago on the 20th against the Braves. Manny waiting on a 1-1 check swing, foul ball.
Yeah. That heater in there hard on Manny Machado. You were mentioning about trying to eat up some innings here, but most teams this month of August, there are some tired arms, and we've seen it. Some arms going on the DL, some injuries. And managers cannot wait for September to come so they can increase the rosters and add some more pitchers. Except Buck Showalter, who can't stand the expanded roster. Wishes it didn't exist. Doesn't want anything to do with it. Trust me, he needs pitchers. He's not going to complain about that.
2-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way, and that ball in the air to center field. Turner will put it away. Manny Machado retired, 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th inning. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50, supporting the Be More for Healthy Babies. Orioles have drawn 356 walks, $17,800. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Chris Davis, base hit, run scored. Jones is 3 for 3, has an RBI. Trumbo 2 for 2, couple of has an RBI. Wieters, RBI and a double, and 2 runs have scored on an error. Chris Davis, part of that big third inning with his single and a run in. Chris will put it up in the air, center field, going back. Turner. He's got it. Couple of fly balls to center. Take a look at the Mile One upcoming schedule. They offer you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit them in store or online at mile1.com.
Now Orioles heading down the highway 295 to play the Nationals 2 night games down in DC and then off to New York, jumping on the train. Night game on Friday and then back-to-back day games over the weekend.
Chris Tillman, whether or not he will start may be announced after the game tonight or may wait till tomorrow. Was due to be examined this afternoon by a doctor. Had a workout session today that did not go well, in the words of the manager. So whether his start in Washington for game 2 will remain intact, we don't know. Mark Trumbo, 2 singles, run scored, and an RBI. 0-1. Red Sox 2-0 lead over Tampa Bay. 5th, Ortiz 1 for 2 and RBI. Buchholz the starter. 3 hits, 4 innings. Archer, he's given up a run on 5 hits and 4 1/3. Toronto's got a 6-2 lead now over the Angels. Martin's gone 2 for 2, couple of RBIs for their catcher. 1-1 delivery on the way, and Trumbo puts that one up in the air to right field. Harper, he's got it. 3 fly ball outs, and the Orioles are retired for the first time. 1, 2, 3. We've completed 4, and the Orioles have a 6-0 lead. Last night they lead at 6-0 here. Gary Thorne, Mike Bordick for Kevin Goslin. Another chance to win at home. Don't know what that magic is about this ballpark and Kevin, but it seems to work.
I'm telling you right now it's working as the Orioles putting some runs on the board for him. But yeah, he loves pitching here. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a hitter friendly park, so you would think the numbers might be
and
the
he's
other
a fly
way
ball
around.
pitcher.
Fly ball pitcher, but he's got confidence here. So he's going at the hitters. He's aggressive. It's being helped by the defense. Come up big in this ball game. Jonathan Scope, Matt Waiters, a couple big time throwouts early in the ball game. So and the Orioles offense really starting to click right now. So good to see.
You talked about being opportunistic. They were last night, and they're doing it again here in this game. When the opportunity's there, they're taking advantage of it.
They have to, and they better be looking for those opportunities the rest of the way through.
Yep. So Gausman goes back to work, and Clinton Robinson is at the plate. Robinson, the DH, getting his second at bat. That'll go to third on the inside out swing. Manny Machado plenty of time. 1 down here in the 5th.
Like that. Quick out for Kevin Gausman. He has had to work his way through this Nationals lineup. And granted, there's some danger. It seems like every count. But 3-1, 3-2 counts. Only a couple walks in the ball game, which is a good sign. But Gausman's pitch count getting up there quick.
Here's Danny Espinosa, switch hitting shortstop. Fly it out to right field, his first time up. Nationals seem to feel that the way he's played, he sort of anchored himself in the middle of that infield, and it's going to be very tough for anybody to get that job away from him.
All right. Very solid defensively. Aside from the weekend in Atlanta, the Nationals made a few errors. Espinosa himself made a few errors.
That's that kind of plays continued here in these 2 games against the Orioles.
Yeah.
The errors, misplays.
Sometimes a bad field can mess you up.
Yeah.
Just your timing, your rhythm, your confidence defensively. You feel like you're in between on everything.
Atlanta had, we were told, so much rain that the field was just in really bad condition.
Yeah.
When they played.
And you know, sometimes on bad fields, you're kind of taught to be more aggressive. You can't wait back, and maybe that's what we're seeing with Murphy at second base right now. Kind of really aggressive on balls instead of reading the hops.
2-1 delivery, and that one is going to miss. So Espinosa works the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. Espinosa came in a .230 hitter, major league average. He's at .216 at the moment, but his defensive play has been outstanding. Goes after one upstairs at 93, 3-2.
He's got the big time pop as well, and maybe that's why his batting average suffering, trying to hit too many home runs. Batting average down to that 216, but was that his 18th or 19th he hit last night?
Yeah, he got on one for 19. 3-2 delivery on the way to him, and Espinosa is going for 20. He struck out. Gausman gets his second strikeout.
Challenging with the heater, 95 miles an hour. Get it if you can. Ends up being about center cut. Gausman's had some problems. Sometimes the 2-seamer inside to lefties leaks back over. This one does, but the extra cheese gets it by Espinosa.
So Trey Turner, who's had a game to remember / forget. He's had 2 singles and twice stolen a base, only to have it overruled on replay. Tagged by Jonathan Scope both times, called safe both times overturned. Pops this one up in the air, and Manny Machado will have no play.
Yeah, he's been caught 3 times, and all 3 times he's been caught, it's been under review. So
yeah. Good news is he's got great speed and makes it close. Bad news is, oops. In the air to right field. Pretty good wood on this one. Going back. Trumbo looking, and that'll hit right at the base of the fence. And he'll go into second base, so he doesn't have to steal it. He gets a double.
Pretty impressive pop the other way from Turner. Kevin Gausman supplying some of the power. He gets turned around a little bit, maybe loses sight of the ball, and he goes back to try to pick up the fence. Ball gets behind him, and Turner picking up his 9th double of the year.
So runner at second base with 2 down. Jason Worth has drawn the 2 walks that have been surrendered, and the Nationals just their second chance with the runner in scoring position. 0 for 1 in the ball game. 2 away. Trying to get on the board. That's hit number 5 and the first extra base hit the Nationals have had. Worth will take the pitch inside for a ball. Nationals, of course, with that big lead we have talked about. It's only the 3rd time in the Nationals history they have been this much in first place this deep into the season. 2014, 6 games up. 2012, 7 games up at this point, and they won the division in both of those years, and no reason to believe in reality that they won't win the division this year.
And they should. Baker got to keep this team headed in the right direction. Every team kind of stumbles a little bit. There might be this road trip here for the Nationals that kind of got them off the tracks. With a good group of veterans, obviously an experienced manager. Certainly will help.
2 ball 1 strike count with 2 down. Team finished with 83 wins last year. They were 7 games out. They've already got 73 wins this year. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way. Worth will take it for a strike. He hasn't liked a number of calls in more than one at bat. And I think I can safely say he didn't like that one.
He doesn't like the inside corner right now, that's for sure. A nasty pitch, 94, catching that inner edge down and in.
Jason with a 2-ball 2-strike count. Runner off second base, 2 down. And he'll nub it foul.
Leaders wanting this one on the outside corner. Enough of the inner edge. Open up the outside corner, but there it is, leaking back over. And whew, Gausman got away with that one.
2-ball 2-strike count. Over 90 pitches now. And Worth will take that one outside. He wasn't going to turn around and look at the home plate umpire on that pitch.
Holding his breath there.
Yep.
Another good pitch from Gausman.
Waiting to see if he was going to hear anything.
Take a look from the overhead view. Does it cross that front edge? Ooh, pretty close. Maybe because the veteran hitter. Too close.
3-2 delivery, and Worth will foul that one back. It's a good cut at it. Jason, against the Orioles, lifetime here at this ballpark, a .320 hitter. He's had 4 home runs. He's had 5 total against the Orioles, and 4 of them have been out of the yard here at Camden Yards.
No, not the way it always works. He was originally drafted by the Orioles, so.
3-2 count, 8th pitch of the at bat, and fouled off. It reminds me a little bit of Hunter Pence. It's a kind of an unorthodox swing that they take. There's a bit of a lunge at it. They hit the ball hard, both of them do.
Oh yeah.
But it's not something you would teach. Couldn't teach it if you wanted to.
Right. Well,
they're both major league hitters.
Absolutely. Great career, over 200 career home runs. He just set a franchise record for getting on base consecutively. 46 consecutive games for Jason Worth, establishing the new career high and franchise record for the Nats.
That's where all those walks really help that on base percentage. 3-ball 2-strike count again. Runner off second base, and Worth again pumps that one foul. Talking to himself, wanted that one, wanted to drive it.
Yeah, so Gausman starts him off inside. Worth showing that he doesn't like that inside corner, but and in the back of his mind maybe setting Gausman up. So Kevin coming right back in there, but he keeps increasing the velocity. That last one 96. Worth having a hard time getting the bat head there.
10th pitch of the at bat, ground ball to short. Hardy's got it, and the out. Gausman wins a big battle right there. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and a base runner left on. Orioles up 6-0. Notebook on our baseball business page. Keith Law, ESPN, D-backs have some major decisions to make on the future of their front office, including a contract option for GM Dave Stewart for 2017 that must be exercised or declined by August 31, and the soon to expire contract of Chief Baseball Officer Tony La Russa. These decisions should be incredibly easy for an organization that has done nothing but go backwards since their hires.
Some hardball there.
Yep. Diamondbacks, it has been a struggle. We'll see whether they are the ones that pay the price.
Yeah, they tried to make some moves. They were aggressive over the offseason, but those moves have not worked at all.
Jonathan Scope will take the pitch for a strike. Belisle retired the side in order in the 4th inning. Matt Belisle out of the bullpen. Scope an RBI double and a run scored. He's 1 for 2. He's got a 7-game hit streak going. The 0-1 to him to third base. And down right there to haul it in. And 1 away, bottom of the 5th. Well, mark your calendars for a recently announced addition to the O's promotional calendar. Saturday, September 17, Rays here, 7:05 game. First 25,000 fans, 15 and over, get the vintage Orioles Bobble Boy or Bobble Girl. You can add it to your Birdland collection. Get your tickets at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Note I said Bobble Boy or Bobble Girl.
So you don't have a choice, or do you have a choice?
You have a choice. The choice is the one they hand you on the way in. That is your choice. Then you get a swap meet going.
Right.
Here's Pedro Alvarez. Alvarez, run scored, couple of walks into the shift. Murphy charging, and we'll record the out. These two teams pack it up, head out. Beltway Series continues in Washington tomorrow night. Wade Miley, Tanner Rourke, scheduled starters. 6:30 O's Extra, 7 o'clock for the ball game from our nation's capital. 2 down, Matt Wieters. Wieters with the RBI double, and he is flied out. The Orioles concluding a homestand on which they right now are 2-5. This has been a tough one, but it would be for the Orioles nice to finish it up with a W right here. Zerun will handle that one. And that's going to be 8 in a row that have been retired by Belisle out of the bullpen. 6-0 O's. Orioles baseball on Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, and by visitannapolis.org. Create your moment at visitannapolis.org. Gary Thorne, Mike Bordick with you. Gorgeous night here at the ballpark. Orioles have the 6-0 lead in the ball game, and a few players taking swings at first pitches. You can take that any way you want. Kevin Gausman working with a couple of walks, couple of strikeouts.
Kevin likes some early swings here, some soft contact as he's nearing 100 pitches in this ball game. 96 to get through 5 complete.
Bullpen already active for the Orioles. Vance Worley throwing in the pen. Murphy will lead it off. Daniel Murphy, league's leading hitter, coming in, is 0 for 2 in the ball game. He is grounded out, flied out. Harper will be on deck, and Gausman's delivery will miss outside for a ball. Floats that one in, that 2 out of the strike zone. Each team has left 5 on base in the game. Orioles getting their runs in the first 3, 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third. Gausman gets the strike on that one. Orioles, over the history of these two teams playing, 24-14 in this ballpark in the Orioles' favor. Orioles have a 40-32 edge against Washington overall. 3 ball, 1 strike count. It's the century mark. Murphy will take it. That 2 is there. Murphy trying to get a walk here and get on. They need runners, obviously, and the count's 3-2. Worley kind of hurrying it along like he's going to be ready. Ground ball towards second. Scope. Jonathan makes the play. Murphy is retired. Let's take a look at our Major League notebook on this date in Major League history. How about this? There he is. 1989, Dodgers defeated the Expos 1-0, 22nd inning. And Rick Dempsey delivered the home run that put the Dodgers up, and they won it. And it was on this date in '89 that Pete Rose, the Reds manager, agreed to the lifetime suspension from baseball for gambling. Can you imagine 21 scoreless innings?
No, I can't.
Put up in the air by Bryce Harper and fouled off.
You know, Dempsey is the big time hero in that ball game.
Tommy Lasorda was a hero in that ball game. Remember Youppi, the mascot? Lasorda got Youppi thrown out of the game. Montreal Expos mascot. He was fooling around by the Dodger dugout. Lasorda told them umpire he was making too much noise and disturbing things, so they threw Youppi out. Then let him back in later in the game, so long as he didn't go near the Dodger dugout.
Crazy.
Oh my. Youppi. 0-2 count. Harper a base hit, and he is popped out. The 0-2 delivery on the way. That one sliced down the line and foul. So Bryce 0-2, 1 down. Rendon waiting on deck. Gausman's 0-2 delivery, and that's going to be a base hit to center field. Adam Jones on the short hop, 2 for 3 for Harper. And again, another single picked up. The only extra base hit has been the double by Turner in the 5th inning, and he was stranded.
Yeah, Harper picking up a couple base hits, both on elevated fastballs, top of the zone. He's staying on top of it. Impressive swing.
A couple of big bats chatting down there, Davis and Harper. Anthony Rendon up, a base hit, and he is flied out to right field. Rendon coming in with a .333 batting average in this ballpark. He hit number 6 for the Nationals, and he will take the pitch on the outside corner. Orioles, after their 10th win in interleague play, they are 9-5. Nationals are 11-6 against the American League. 0-1 delivery by Kevin Gausman will bounce off the plate. Did he go? No. The 1-ball 1-strike count.
Kevin, not too many double plays. 15 in his 102 opportunities. He'd like to roll one over here.
One delivery. Jammed him. Adam Jones.
I will say this, there have been a lot of weak fly balls, either center field or the right side of the right-handed hitters. They are not able to get on the Gausman fastball in that inside corner. That bat head dragging. Can't get it out in front. No extra life in the Gausman heater.
7 fly balls in the ball game, and as Mike said, there really not any of those have been hit hard. Wilson Ramos has popped out and grounded out. 2 away, runner on at first base. Harper, that will go to right. Trumbo is there. Another fly ball, another out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. The Orioles up 6-0. Our Honda do-ups: Hardy, Jones, and Pierce.
Time for the Geico highlights. I guess it is starting. How about Jonathan Schoop hitting a double? J.J. Hardy going the other way. No misplay by Murphy. Jonathan Schoop able to score. Orioles scored 3 runs in the 3rd to run the rookie Lopez. Orioles have the lead 6-0. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Belisle doing a good job out of the bullpen, retiring the side in order in the 4th and 5th innings, and came on to get the final 2 outs in the 3rd. Here's J.J. Hardy. Reached on an error, grounded out, but a big error in that 3rd inning. Orioles got 3 runs, 2 of them unearned on the Hardy error committed by the Murphy error committed on Hardy's ground ball. Bases were loaded. Here's the 0-1 delivery by Belisle, and that's going to miss down low.
Well, Belisle's done a nice job eating up some innings after the early exit. Lopez.
He'll catch the outside corner with it. 1 ball, 2 strike count to J.J. Right-hander's delivery to him. J.J. trying to time that one a little bit out in front. 75-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch, and couldn't wait long enough. Fans don't mind. Souvenir. That's why I brought my glove. Here it is.
A good play.
Better show it to him too. You make a play like that.
One ball, two strike count. Belisle again, and this time went away. So Hardy a strikeout victim. Belisle will pick up his first K. One down here in the bottom half of the sixth.
Pretty impressive pitch here. A little slider working on the outside edge from Belisle to get J.J. Hardy. Good late movement there.
That'll bring up Adam Jones. Another multi-hit game for Adam. His 38th multi-hit game of the season. Manny Machado has 44 such games to lead the Orioles. Worley's going to be coming in, obviously, as he continues to warm up in the bullpen. He was all ready to go in that last half inning. Adam with 3 hits in the game tonight, 3 for 3. Jones will punch that one to right, and he's going to be 4 for 4. Adam Jones gets his 4th single of the game. 4 hits, an RBI, and a run scored.
Adam Jones getting himself in a good position. He's ready to hit. On some tough pitches here. A little backup slider sometimes causes hitters fits. He's able to find the barrel, pull the hands inside. And some outfield grass as well. 4 for 4. Captain Adam Jones.
His 3rd 4-hit game of the year. Steve Pearce batting in the 2 spot. Has drawn a walk, flied out, grounded out. Belisle's pitch to him is taken for a strike. For Belisle, that's just the 2nd hit that he has surrendered since coming out of the bullpen. He retired 9 in a row prior to the Jones single. 0-1 delivery. Pearce will inside out and foul it away. Fans just kind of settled in quietly. Orioles have dominated this ball game, so they can probably hear the beer man. Here's the 0-2 coming, and that will be fouled away. Minnesota's got a 2-1 lead over the Tigers late in their ball game. Another team, the Tigers, battling for a wild card spot, only 3 games out. Orioles are going to be going there in the not too distant future. Anibal Sanchez, Kyle Gibson locked up in a good one. Tigers have got a stretch of games, Twins, Angels, and White Sox, starting against Minnesota in the ball game tonight. All of those teams below 500. 0-2 pitch on the way, and a swing and a foul tip into the mitt, held on to. And Pierce a strikeout victim.
It's all right, Steve. Very intense. Man, oh man. A good fastball. Take a look at the Nissan pitch track. He's out over the plate. So Pierce, how the heck did this one get by me? Some frustration. Good swing. Just getting the top of it right into the catcher's glove.
2 away. Jones remains on at first base. Manny Machado has struck out twice, flied out. 0-1 count on him. Manny, as he has been all season long, up there among the leaders offensively in the American League. Came into the game 8th in runs, 7th in hits, 3rd in total bases picked up. Machado with the multi-hit games leads the Orioles in that department and is ranked 6th in the American League in multi-hit games. Oh, 0-1 delivery to him and a breaking ball, and he's going to keep the streak alive. Jones will stop at second base. Machado 1 for 4 and a 6-game hit streak to take with him to Washington. Well, an annual fan favorites returning, the 2017 Orioles Pet Calendar presented by Pet ER, on sale at Orioles.com/pet calendar here at the ballpark and at the official team store in New York. It benefits Barks, the Baltimore Animal Rescue and Care Shelter. 16-month calendar. You can get it now You can do it online at Orioles.com/petcalendar. Dusty Baker on his way out. Manny Machado extending this inning and ending Belisle's performance out of the bullpen. He leaves, responsible for 2 on base.
Lefty reliever Oliver Perez now into the ball game. 2-pitch mix here. Fastball slider combination. Fastball, not the same fastball it used to be, but still getting in the low 90s. 5.61 earned run average. 38 punch outs. 18 walks on the year for Perez. He has the ability to change his delivery, mix it up a little bit. Had that deception, holding opponents down to 248 overall batting average. The lefty's pretty good at 217, and he's left 86%. He's inherited runners stranded. There's a couple out there in this ball game.
Just celebrated his 35th birthday. A veteran. Well, he's been around San Diego, Pittsburgh, Mets, Seattle, Arizona, Houston, and some minor league teams along the way. That's the guy who could write a book. He's out of Mexico. He played there for a couple of years. You got Idaho Falls, Fort Wayne, Lake Elsinore, Mobile, Alabama, Indianapolis, Norfolk, Gulf Coast League Mets, Buffalo, St. Lucie, Brooklyn, Tacoma, and Harrisburg. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere.
Just waiting for that.
Oh, old Hank Snow song right there. And Oliver Perez has made a career out of it, and a good one. 1 ball, 1 strikeout. Orioles have runners on at first and second. Chris Davis, a base hit, and the off-speed delivery has him way out in front on a 1-arm swing. 1 for 3, scored on that single in the 3rd inning. 1 ball, 2 strikeout, 2 down. Davis waiting on it, and Perez comes on and gets it done. Strikes him out. The Orioles no runs, couple of hits. They leave 2 on, 6 complete. Worley coming on to pitch.
out of the game, and this Nats offense really made him work for this one. Pitch count got up, away with a couple big strikeouts. though. Robinson going down here on the high heater, and Espinosa can't catch up to 95 down the gut. A couple walks in this ball game. Pitch count up 110 for 6 innings. Kevin Gausman found a way to get through this. Nothing on the board for runs. Big time start for Kevin Gausman. Orioles starting pitchers have stepped up the last 3 games. Vance Worley now out of the Orioles bullpen. That fastball 73% of the time, but you don't know which way it's going. It'll sink, it'll cut, it'll rise. It does everything. The Manimal, when he's on, has a lot of deception in his delivery. 3.20 earned run average, and he has been a workhorse for this team. He had 4 starts. This will be his 29th appearance. He's been very good out of the bullpen. Opponents hitting just .248 overall. We get Kevin Gausman talking to Gallardo and Bundy.
And Worley will start it out with a strike, much to the dismay of Ryan Zimmerman. Zimmerman has grounded out and he has flied out. 6 runs, 10 hits for the Orioles. No runs, 6 hits, an error on the Nationals. Worley's pitch off the bump and into center field. Scope gave it a dive, couldn't get to it. So Zimmerman starts out the 7th inning with yet another single for the Nationals.
He's on the cut fastball. This one ricocheting off the mound. Almost gives a big enough hop for Jonathan Scope to corral.
Worley has got a 4-2 mark lifetime against the Nationals. This is the 9th game he's appeared in. He's started 4 against them. Works here with the leadoff man on. Here's Clint Robinson. Robinson will take it down low. A nice stop made by Wieters. Clint Robinson was a Triple Crown winner in the Texas League. And there have been only 3 players who can say that. That's a base hit into center field. So Robinson on, Jones up with it. Who you ask were the other 2? Believe me if you didn't ask. See if you remember these names. Remember Adam Pyatt?
Yeah.
1999, he won the Triple Crown.
Oakland A's
in the Texas League. And Del Pratt, 1927, was 40 years old, and he won the Triple Crown in the Texas League. Those are the only 3 who've ever done that.
I don't remember him. You remember that guy?
I do remember him. Remember calling his first game. I said, son,
you got a chance.
I think you're going to win the Triple Crown. Here's Danny Espinosa. Washington making a little noise here in the 7th inning. Espinosa 0 for 2. Espinosa has flied out and struck out 2 on. It's only the 3rd chance the Nationals have had in this game with a runner in scoring position. They are 0 for 2 at the moment. Zimmerman at second base, Robinson on at first. One-0 pitch on the way, grounded towards right. That's going to be a base hit. Making the turn, Zimmerman. Here's the throw, cut off. They got to play it third, and we'll get the out. Chris Davis, accurate throw, right on the money, and Robinson is retired. And that's another mistake. You can't be doing that in the 7th inning when you just got a run, and now it's 6-1.
You got that for sure. I mean, I think it's pretty risky even sending there, but you gotta have your head on a swivel. Pushing a little too much right now. Nice job by Trumbo coming in to close the distance, but pay attention to the detail. Hit the cutoff man. There's an out moving. Chris Davis sees everything in front of him, and we'll get Robinson on the back end. A very important first out for the Orioles. And really stop the bleeding here in this inning as the Nats offense coming to life.
So the Nationals get a run in. Espinosa will pick up the RBI. Here's Turner. Turner's had a big game, 2 singles and a double. Donnie Hart warming up. 3 for 3 in the ball game, but the bigger plays thrown out twice trying to steal earlier in the game. Called safe on review, called out, and the pitch will miss away.
You know, there used to be a time in the game where running into outs, especially when there was a run crossing the plate, was okay. It was actually taut. And It doesn't make any sense nowadays. Outs are so valuable. You cannot run into outs on the bases.
Shattered bat. That's going to be a base hit. Worley having no luck at all. 4 batters, 4 singles. And the Nationals having their first offensive inning of the ball game with Turner, a 4-for-4 game.
Wow. A good cutter. He was dive bombing down, and some tough luck off the end of the bat, exploding bat trick. And the ball finds some outfield grass for the knock.
Well, a discussion with Worley. Dave Wallace out. Hart ready to go in the bullpen. You've got Worth and then the left-hander Murphy coming up. Here's Jason Worth. Couple of walks and he is grounded out. 6-1. Both teams have 10 hits. Jason Worth 1 for 6 lifetime, a home run off Worley, and the count 1-0. Turner with that base hit on at first. Espinosa down at second. Turner getting his first 4-hit ball game in his career, and the pitch is taken down low, and Worley working into more trouble here. In a hurry this has happened.
Yeah. And
a 2-0 count.
Come up with the big pitch.
2-0 delivery. It's a strike taken by Worth. 10 hits for the Nationals, 1 extra base hit, a double. Orioles have had 10 hits. Scope, Wieters have had the extra base hits. Down to third, Manny Machado. There's one. Scope. Oh, what a double play! A tremendous turn by the Orioles, led by Manny Machado, and the arm of Jonathan Scope at second base. An almost impossible play ends up looking like an easy double play. 7th inning stretch time. D to you. There's nothing like defense in any sport to bring you to your feet. I know home runs do it, touchdowns do it and stuff, but defense just, it's exciting.
Absolutely.
Defense like that, you see a double play turn like that, it's like Mercy.
Yeah, especially in those high leverage situations where you need a big time play. Yeah, the Orioles needed one out, but Platinum Glove winner Manny Machado just surprising everybody, cutting it back across the field. Wow.
I said to you, it wasn't even close.
No.
I mean, it was 2 steps at first base. It wasn't a close play at second. And that's a very tough play.
It sure is. Manny and Jonathan Scope paired up to make some pretty special double plays this year.
Yep. 2-0 delivery on the way, and that will be taken for a strike. Perez remains on. Came on and got the final out in the 6th inning. Trumbo's had 2 singles, 2 for 3, RBI, and a run scored. Perez gives you that Louis Tiant. Here's the number on my back before I throw it to you.
Yeah, he does all kinds of different things. He'll give you different looks on every pitch.
3 ball, 1 strike count to Trumbo. And that'll be foul back over the screen. Mark's gone 1 for 2 against Oliver Perez, and that was a home run. 26,697, 26,697 here at the ballpark. And they've seen an Oriole early offensive explosion. All 6 runs in the first 3 innings. Down to third, short hop. Rendon will make the play, and Trumbo is retired. Follow the Orioles baseball action live with MLB.com @BAT app. Stay up to the moment, any moment. Game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com @BAT, #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Orioles looking to make it 2 in a row against the Nationals, then head down to Washington for 2 more games in interleague play. Big swing by Jonathan Scope. Double at an RBI 3rd inning. Run scored. 1 for 3. 7-game hit streak. 0-1 delivery by the lefty will be fouled off. Perez with the arms, legs, feet, cleats, hat. And somewhere out of there comes a baseball.
You know what? And he's throwing strikes with it.
Yes, he is.
So you got to commend him for that.
Here's the 0-2 delivery. And we'll just miss inside with it. Jonathan Scope at 285. 20 home runs. 66 RBIs. 1-2 pitch. This time with a hesitation. You're right. Every pitch is different.
Every time. You just don't know what to expect. A little hang freeze right there. Everything and anything to disrupt the timing and rhythm of the hitter.
Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way. And he is throwing strikes. Perez gets the strikeout, his second, 2 down.
Pretty good fastball here from Perez. Believe it or not, he used to throw 95, 96, and here 5 pitches to Jonathan Scope, the 5th different look. Here the leg swinging out around with the high knee kick. Here comes the cheddar. Good finish.
Good finish. Lands ready to field. Here's Pedro Alvarez. Couple of walks and he is grounded out. Alvarez will take it for a strike. Pedro will be the next to join the 20 home run group. He's got 19. And when he gets his 20th, the Orioles are going to be the first team since the 2010 Blue Jays to have 6 20-plus home run hitters. Blue Jays that year ended up with 7. Just a matter of time. Davis, home run leader, of course, Trumbo. Jonathan Scope has joined that 20 home run party. 1-1 pitch on the way, and that one down the line and foul. Orioles with 194 home runs, leading the majors, and as we have mentioned, they are on a pace that's very close to the all-time home run mark for a season set by Seattle. They're within 5 home runs of that pace. Here's the 1-2. That one in the air to right field, going back at the wall and right off the top of it. On to second base goes Alvarez. He's got a double and just missed picking up that 20th home run.
So close. Alvarez's swing has been on for the last 2.5 months now, it seems. 14th double of the season, and you better be doing a lot of things right. Keep that front side in, lefty on lefty slider, and he does. Nice finish through the baseball. Line drive right off the top of the wall, eluding Harper, but there's Turner. Nice backup on the young center fielder.
Pedro Alvarez, hitting only 172 against left-handers, is now 6 for 30. Ball fouled away by Matt Wieters. Matt a double and an RBI. He is flied out, grounded out. Orioles have their 11th hit. Orioles a lot of chances in this game. 12th time with a runner in scoring position after having only 2 chances in last night's game. They're 4 for 11. 0-1, 2 down. No stat goes unobserved in this game. The Orioles 3 challenges, 3 wins. Ties a season high for challenges won in Major League Baseball.
Wow.
It's happened 3 times. Base hit, Matt Wieters. Alvarez coming around. He'll score. Big night for Matt. He's 2 for 4, 2 RBIs, 2 out RBI right there, and it's 7-1.
Nice piece of hitting by Matt Wieters. Left-handed beast this year, typically right-handed. He's more consistent, average down a little bit, but handling the high heater very well. Shooting it the other way, picking up an RBI on the end, get that run back.
Well, the Orioles with a dozen hits in the ball game. 2 away. J.J. Hardy looking to join that hit group. 0 for 3. Did reach on that big error we talked about in the 3rd inning. So the Orioles will pick up their first run since the 3rd to make it a 7-1 ball game. Nationals not wanting to go too deep into that bullpen, but may have to go one more. T warming up. 2-0 count. JJ at 272. Continuing to pump the average up, and we'll take that pitch down low. So the count goes 3-0 from Perez. Orioles rally here in the 7th inning, coming after they were 2 down. .30 pitch he's taking. It's in there for a strike. Laid that one in, an off-speed delivery. Toronto has beaten the Angels 7-2 final. Boston's got a 2-1 lead in the 9th inning in Tampa. 3-1 pitch on the way, and Hardy will take it, and he's on with a walk. And Perez, who is firing on all cylinders, all of a sudden isn't. And that'll be it for him. So Perez will be coming out of the ball game as Dusty Baker makes his way to the mound. And the Orioles have had a double, a single, and a walk after the first 2 outs were recorded here in the 7th inning. So a lot of base runners for the Orioles in this game, and they'll get a chance to continue it up 7-1. Well, these two ball clubs are going to have a 2-game set next at the Nats Park starting tomorrow. Wade Miley will be on the mound against Tanner Roark. Coverage on MASN 2, 6:30 O's Extra, presented by Jeep, followed by game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN.
And take a look at tomorrow's starters. Wade Miley going to have a good start for the Orioles, and it is about time. He'll take on Tanner Roark, a 2.87 earned run average, one of the best in the business right now. 13-6 record. A pretty good game tomorrow down in Nats Park. And the Nats go to the pen again, pulling out Petit. Take a look at his pitch arsenal. The fastball 52% of the time. Low 90s with the heater. He has a curveball, cuts his fastball as well. An occasional changeup. 3.27 earned run average. 41 punchouts in 55 innings. And 13 walks for Petit. Opponent's hitting .248. He's giving up the 8 long balls.
So Yusmeiro Petit comes on to pitch with 2 on. And the Orioles with 2 down get Adam Jones up, looking for a 5-hit game. He's had 4 singles, an RBI, and a run scored. T's delivery to him will be taken away. Orioles now with 7 runs on 12 hits. Each team has left 7 on base to this point. Runners off first and second. Wieters and Hardy. That's a strike on the outside corner. Petit was with the Giants last year, 42 games, 1-1, had 1 save. Out of Venezuela. 31-year-old. Started his major league career with Florida. And that breaking ball way outside. Adam going after that one.
Adam Jones, a big night. 4 knocks, chopping one up the middle for the first knock to get the game going. Kind of a second knock in the second inning. How about 3 innings, 3 knocks here? Espinosa to review. Adam Jones' speed wins that battle. He's staying inside, finding some outfield grass the other way. 4 for 4. Adam Jones.
Petit with a 1-2 delivery on the way, and that one's up, and he got him. So Adam Jones is retired. Petit comes on to get the strikeout. The Orioles get a run, couple of hits, 2 left on. They lead it 7-1. Contender issues. This is Jerry Krasnick, our good buddy at ESPN writer. Clayton Kershaw of the Dodgers. Will he be back? Mid-September right now is the word. For Miami, Giancarlo Stanton, the big home run hitter. They're saying end of the year, whatever that means. Steven Strasburg, of course, went on the DL yesterday. Probably going to miss 2 starts. Danny Salazar with Cleveland. They need him. Returned Friday, but he was not effective in the outing. They took him out of the game. And Chris Tillman with the Orioles. We're going to learn more probably tonight or tomorrow. Will he make the start in Washington? Look at the numbers. 20-6 in his starts. 48-50 with the others.
Yeah, some important people there potentially being lost down the stretch.
Oh, some names. There are lots of them that are important to contending teams. Steve Krasnick on the article. He was born in Maine.
How about that?
Steve, a good buddy of ours who worked for the Portland Press Herald in Portland, Maine for a long time. And Jerry was born there. And he's been around in Cincinnati. Now works ESPN, MLB. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Worley in the last inning surrendered a run on 4 hits. We're in the 8th inning. 7-1 ball game. All of a sudden there's, well, not all of a sudden, but as the game's gone along, the numbers have kept piling up. We're up to 8 combined runs on 22 hits in this game.
Wow.
And the Nationals joining in here in that last inning, getting on the board. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Murphy will foul that one back and out of play.
Nice fastball right there. Well, Worley certainly a pitcher that could be slotted into the starting rotation. Had some good success for the Orioles this year and his opportunities. I wonder who's going to slide in if Tillman cannot make his next start. Well, with Worley on the bump right now, it doesn't look like he's the guy. So
1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. That's why they left that decision, I think, till tonight or tomorrow, or maybe they already know. We don't know. We know Tillman was going to be examined to see if there was a medical problem.
Right.
We just don't know. But it certainly Buck Showalter was very questionable about it in the pregame press conference. Worley will get the strikeout.
Man, that is a nasty pitch from the Vanimal, getting on top. Look at that cut action. 89 miles an hour, throwing it hard, getting on the side of the baseball, but because he's on top, he will drive it down and in. Looking at possible National League MVP. Swinging and missing, that nasty.
Murphy 0 for 4 in the ball game. Here is Harper. He has had 2 singles, 2 for 3 for Bryce Harper. That one will bounce. Worley buried that one. .22 home runs, 68 RBIs. Problems with the neck that had kept him out of the lineup, so they're looking for a big finish and a healthy one, obviously, for him. Down the line the other way to the seats and foul. So the teams, Orioles are now chasing, and both looking like they're going to get W's tonight. Toronto 7-2, already a winner in their game, and the Red Sox about to wrap up theirs. It looks like they're up 2-1. That'll be Davis on the backhand. He'll go to the bag himself. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Toronto 7-2 victory tonight. Dickey went 6 2/3, 2 runs on 6 hits. They got a good outing out of him. Tulowitzki 1 for 3 RBI. Martin had a big night, 3 for 3 at the plate for Toronto. So the Jays come away with a win. A couple of RBIs picked up by Russell Martin. That ball launched in the air to left field, but off the end of the bat. Pierce is there, and he's got it, and Worley retires the side in order. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Orioles 7, Nationals 1. 50 is the new 70 page. You take a look at, we talk about all the home runs being hit in Major League Baseball. Look how bloated the numbers were during the height of the steroid era. At Barry Bonds, the all-time at 73 in a season. You see the age of the players. Then it was Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, McGwire again, Sosa 2 more times for the home runs that were all 63 and above. The last player with 50 in a season is Chris Davis. 2013 when he had 53 at the age of 27, and he's on pace for 38 this year. As we said, there were 9 players who had 40 or more home runs last year, but it just indicates how out of proportion those numbers were in those years.
Yeah. Amazing numbers, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was, you just look at it and you go, my Lord, how could we have just gone through that pretending nothing else was going on? You know?
Right.
And the media was part of that. I mean, the fans ate it up, the media ate it up. They couldn't get enough of those guys on the air. And you're looking at guys hitting 70 home runs a year from 25 more than they ever had in their life.
Right.
I mean, it was
36 years old.
Yeah. It was crazy. But it went on and people made money off it. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Steve Pearce. Pearce in the air to center. Turner. He's got it. Steve retired. An 0 for 4 in the ball game and a walk. That'll bring up Manny Machado. Machado a base hit, 1 for 4. Manny's got a 6-game hit streak now. Orioles with a 7-1 lead and have not had a home run.
That doesn't happen too often.
Orioles 50% of their runs coming off homers. In the air towards center. That hasn't got much on it. Second baseman back, Murphy. Don Meredith used to say, the party's over. It's swing of the first pitch, and let's go to Washington. Here's Chris Davis. Chris with a base hit, a run scored, 1 for 4. 2 down, nobody on. And the pitch will be taken outside. Two starters in line for the decisions in this game. Davis puts one up in the air, way back in right center, and goodbye, home run. There's one. The Orioles take an 8-1 lead as Chris Davis delivers the long ball with 2 down here in the 8th inning, number 30, and his 69th RBI.
Perfect timing for the home run graph, and the crusher certainly come back to life in the end of August. With the long ball, RBIs starting to mount. The bomb to center field.
The Orioles 195th home run. That one foul back by Trumbo.
Take a look at the crusher. The ability to get to the high fastball. It's behind it, squares it up. Majestic home run to center field. Number 30.
David Cruz in Annapolis. $500, our Maryland lottery contestant. Now the Major League Baseball leader in home runs, Mark Trumbo, with 38. With 30 now for Chris at 432 feet. Chris has moved into the number 6 spot in home runs. He came in tied with Evan Longoria and Mike Napoli and David Ortiz at 29. 0-2 delivery by Petit. Breaking ball. He went. Home plate umpire makes the call. He didn't think so. Trumbo. There was no ask at first base on this. The call was made by Will Little, home plate umpire.
Well, what's frustrating, even though it is a long game, blowout game, I don't want at-bats to be given away or pitches either.
Chris Davis. Just one more. Number 30. And the Orioles have an 8-1 lead. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Absolutely beautiful weather evening and a gorgeous night on the scoreboard for the Orioles. Nolan Reimold comes on to play in left field. Steve Pearce out and Ryan Flaherty in right field. Mark Trumbo out. No, he wasn't thrown out. That's just a change here. Get the guys in. Ramos, ninth inning. Morley on to try and finish it off. Ramos an 0 for 3. 1-0 delivery will be fouled off. Kevin Gausman went 6 innings, no runs, 6 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 2. Worley trying to finish it off with 3. If he does, he gets a save.
Nice
3-inning save, no matter what the score. Lopez 2 2/3 innings, 6 runs, 4 earned, would be the loser in the ball game. Hardy. 1 down, top of the 9th. Visit MassonSports.com/CareFirst to vote for tonight's Care First Fearless Player of the Game. Live fearless with a name trusted for over 75 years. Care First, Blue Cross Blue Shield. A lot of choices. 4-hit night. Adam Jones, RBI. Matt Wieters, a couple of RBIs, 2 hits. Davis, home run, 2 hits, 2 for 5, a couple of runs scored. Zimmerman will take the pitch inside. Kevin Gausman's going to go 5 and 10 on the year. Lopez will take the loss. He will be 2 and 2 for Ronaldo Lopez. Fastball, Worley up.
Hey, look back on these first 2 games in this series and kind of tally up the things the Orioles have done right and the things the Nats have done right and maybe what teams have done wrong. And Orioles leading, taking advantage of some of the details of the ball game.
Yeah.
Early in this ball game, a couple game-changing plays by Wieters and Scope, throwing out their speed Turner at the top. Could have had a huge impact in this ball game.
So 2 down here in the 9th inning. Yeah, it has been the 2 games where everything has been right for the Orioles.
Yeah.
To their credit, making a lot of it right. Here's Robinson, a base hit, 1 for 3 in the ball game. Clint Robinson, the DH. Worley gets the strike. Vance Worley's after his first save ever. And I mean ever. He didn't even have a save in the minors.
Well, why not? They're the most versatile pitcher for the Orioles this year. Might not put a save under his belt.
1-1 breaking ball is in there for a strike. One-two delivery, and the fastball will be up high. Orioles have really dominated these two games. They'll finish the homestand 3-5. Left field. Reimold. He's got it, and that's the ball game. So the Orioles come away with a win. Worley working the last 3 innings. The Orioles pick up the victory by a score of 8-1. Gausman is now 5-10, continues his streak at home. Lopez goes 2-2, and Worley gets his first save in professional baseball. And it's on to Washington as your final.